Probably live. I have to say that every time because I never know when we're actually live. We'll find out though. It's fucking cold in here. That's why I got the jacket on today. Is it working? Looks like it. Cool. Let me get the chat pulled up. All right. Oof. Daniel will be joining shortly. Let me make sure he's actually ready. Give everyone a moment to get in here for those of you who will. Got some pretty interesting shit to talk about tonight. Let me double check that this is actually going. Yeah, it is. Okay. Quick text real quick. Hold on. Shit. God damn.
Hello.
What's up, man?
We're not doing this on a stage?
I mean, we can.
I thought we were going to do stage so we could have like the normal Discord audience like we usually do for the streams.
Yeah, let me do that. Why am I waiting? Mute the music. How fucking funny would it be if the Discord, like, stage music was copyrighted? There we go. Invite to speak. We're getting the Discord side of things set up.
Is there any way you could make me like a stage role where I could just put myself up here? Like a role that just works to give me stage frames?
I have no clue how to do that without making you an administrator.
Oh, okay, well,
which is not happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, don't do that. Making anybody administrator besides yourself is not a good idea. Yeah, dude, I'm wearing a pair, I shit you not, I'm wearing a bright neon purple shirt and like 10-year-old shorts that barely fit me right now. I am in the most ragged ass fit right now. And my hat isn't even packed, so like my fucking nearly bald head is here.
Oh, cinema.
What do I do with my hat? It's right fucking here. Still though. The bright purple shirt is not fucking... It's not coming upstream, bro. Not bald. Fucking to the skin buzzed, basically. Whatever, anyway. Waiting for signal, proton... Okay, yeah, I probably should look at the order that we're doing this in real quick.
God damn. I hope the stream knows, by the way, that we don't pre-discuss stuff on these streams. We just go, hey, do you want to talk about this? Yeah, okay. Yeah. and then we go do it. I'm sure you've done your own research on it, though. Warwick says hello in the chat. Warwick. I don't know how to pronounce that, but what's up, man?
What's up, dude? Okay, of all colors that Discord automatically made like my background thing, I don't know why it chose this like mold orange color, but like whatever. I thought it would choose like red because there's a lot of red in this PFP, but whatever, man. Let me also open up the stream.
I've never heard anyone describe orange as mold orange.
This orange just looks like mold orange, dude.
Whatever you say, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, this looks like mold orange. To be known as the guy that just says dumb shit on your streams. Like first I say what are the chocolate version of Skittles, and then I say mold orange, man.
Yeah, even Warwick said mold orange is so specific.
Okay, well,
What's
Warwick,
up, Fear?
I'm better than you, okay?
What's up, Fear?
Hello, Fear in the Discord.
Fear, okay, Fear. I don't see him talk much, but I do know that he's been on this server for over a year. This dude has been in the Discord for like eons. He's seen it all.
I wonder if my old account's still in the server, actually. It might be. Let's see. Fuck.
Good okay, midday. It is not midday for me, man. It is 11 p.m. on the dot.
Dude, it is I'm about to say, like, it is 11. It is not midday, bro. Fuck you're talking about. I don't know what midday you're living in.
Also, I got my big ass fucking jacket on today because it's fucking cold up here. I have like 2 fucking industrial ass fans spinning 24/7 in this room because it gets super hot up here during the summer because the air conditioning sucks in this house. It's a really old house. So
that's great.
But I may have overdone it and now I'm freezing.
Well, I can see in the stream, yeah, okay. That's great, dude. Muy bien, very good.
I got this thing at a fucking military surplus store. It's even awesome. I even got a Texas flag patch on it. Cause I love my state. I'm a proud American patriot.
I guess, bro. I guess. I don't know why you didn't say a proud Texan. You just went to direct it to American. That worked. Yes, dude.
It flowed better. It sounded.
I wonder what my state's known for. I'm sure I can say that on stream.
What's your state again?
Tennessee.
The first thing that pops up in my mind is whiskey, but that's because of Chris Stapleton.
There's a saying. There's a saying here in Tennessee. It's if you I actually literally don't want to get you like demonetized. Well, you're not monetized.
I'm not monetized, my guy. Just don't get me banned on YouTube if it's that bad. But I'm not monetized.
Send it in DMs before I say it.
Yeah, let me get the guys. We will talk about the signal and proton stuff and all that. We have to get through the bullshit first.
That's the line for my state, bro.
That sounds like Texas.
It sounds like that's literally that. No, well, literally that is a thing.
Austin.
If you look up Tennessee and then that line, that's a thing. That's like an actual thing here.
That's like everywhere but Austin and Texas. But anyways.
All right, yeah.
There's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about here. So, quick heads up.
Okay, before that, do we have everybody? Do we have a bunch of people who? Yeah, okay, we have.
Yeah, we have people tuned in. Yeah, we're good. So before we start, I will just say that at least with the Proton thing, I actually haven't decided on the signal thing yet fully, but at least for the Proton thing, I am planning to make a full video.
First of all, let us actually like tell the people what
before
the Proton
we
thing
do.
is.
Before we do, I was just giving them like a little heads up, like expect a video tomorrow or like a day after also about this. So if you don't want to hear me blabbering twice, then you know what I mean. Whatever. But yeah, so let me show them because I actually have it like stored. Let me show them what's been going on with Proton.
So Proton's actually my ex-wife, and we broke up.
True and factual. That's exactly what we're talking about today. So, Proton has had some controversy in the last maybe few days. I want to say I don't know when this first broke out. It was a couple days ago. It was this week, where Proton apparently has been changing their prices for different people. So some people noticed that throughout different browser sessions or whatever else that, you know, maybe it would be $1 more or $1 less or whatever else for their subscriptions to their services. And then people dug into the code, and I actually have screenshots of that here, which I'm pulling up, that showcase that they were doing what's called A/B testing. So A/B testing is whenever you test, you know, version A and version B, and obviously see which ones work best, right, for the people. So Proton, you know, that's, by the way, that's a very standard practice, and we'll talk more about that later, but Proton was doing A/B testing on their pricing. So I actually will pull up this photo here if you go ahead and take a look, so you can see session 1. I know the the Discord people can't see this, you'll have to go look at the stream, but session 1, it's for VPN Plus, it says it's $277 a month for the actual VPN Plus subscription, and then if you look in session 2, it says $323 a month. So for 2 different sessions, they were getting 2 different prices. And the Proton manager, they're one of the managers of Proton who actually, you know, speaks on behalf of Proton. It's their general manager is his role name. His name is Peterson Proton on Reddit. He said there's no adaptive pricing going on because a bunch of people were asking about this. He said a sale has ended recently, so the intro prices are going back up. Looks like it has not universally refreshed for some reason. Also, these price points from ops screenshots are lower than either the previous or current pricing, which looks like an error on our end. Thanks for pointing this out. And you might want to get in and grab it before we fix it. So even advertising their service in the explanation. So,
which, by the way, in that explanation, it is, you know, you're gonna get the gist already. As was proven. Did you show the proof on the YouTube stream yet? I don't know if you did.
I haven't showed the proof yet. I've only showed
the
actual thing.
That entire thing where they're saying they weren't doing A/B pricing is not true, as there has been proof.
Yeah,
shown.
so
I believe
the VPN general manager, the VPN general manager told everyone that it was just leftovers from a sale that hadn't universally refreshed or something, but people actually dug into the website code and found hints essentially to prove that he just straight up lied, that was just not true at all. And also, even like, that does sound like a pretty stupid fucking explanation, I'm not gonna lie. But if you look right here, you can see regular pricing A, and it has these options, and then you can see regular pricing B, and it's different, right? And if you look right here, it says content equals A, and then it says content equals B here, and it even says A/B test right here in the meta name. And it's titled VPN HP and Pricing VPN Plus Sensibility. So what it sounds like they're doing is they're doing A/B testing for quote-unquote sensibility of their customers to see how sensitive they are to pricing. And if you look right here, this is just a closer look at that same thing I was talking about right here. So if we go ahead, though, you know, this situation's pretty funny, I think. Well, what's your thoughts on it? I want to hear your thoughts first, Daniel.
Look, this comes from somebody who I already don't like Proton, right? I've said this in the past. Not my favorite company. However, I can't say I'm that surprised because they're just a corporation doing corporation shit. And honestly, we've had like so many other corporations do worse, and it doesn't make me hate them. It just kind of makes me think like, oh, they're just kind of acting like every other shitty corporation does, and now it's just like another bottle in the shitty corporation basket of beer at this point.
Well, I'm betting a bunch of people in this whole stream or whatever may be thinking like, oh, he's been sponsored by Proton, so that means we're about to hear a whole bunch of dick sucking about. By the way, Riff Raff came in perfect timing as I was literally just saying dick sucking. What a way to enter the stream. But what's up, man? But I bet a bunch of people, you know, regarding this whole Proton thing are expecting me to, like, you know, say, no, Proton's good, you guys should use it, whatever, because I was sponsored by them before. Well, not exactly. So I don't regret being sponsored by Proton. In fact, I still use their services even after this situation, and I actually still recommend their services even to non-tech savvy users who just want email that's better than Google in terms of privacy or whatever. Just want to get away from that shit. Just want to de-Google, so to speak. I still think Proton's the best option out there, even compared to like Tuda and all the other ones. I honestly, personally think that Proton's just the easiest for non-tech savvy users, but that doesn't mean that I think that they're like super great or the best or whatever. And by the way, I want to make something clear. I'm not like that. I know I have like a URL with them. I have like a link with Proton or whatever to get like a discount. I don't make money off of like per purchase shit. I know some people who have affiliate links like that or whatever will get like a small commission per whatever. No, my contract ran up with them, so I make no money off of it now. I'm not gonna dick suck start sucking. You see, that's the thing, Fear. You heard me say that and then proceeded to say good things about Proton, but the reality is that it's a lot more nuanced than that. A shitty company can still provide a good service. There's no doubt about that. Like DoorDash is a fucked up company. Like they are a piece of shit company, but sometimes in certain cases their service is actually valuable. So, and that's the same thing with Amazon. Amazon is a super fucked up company, and yet sometimes their service comes into handy when you need to order something, right? I'm sure no one's bothered. No one's like fucking, standing up in their chair gasping at me revealing that, Amazon's a bad company, but fuck Amazon, but if it didn't exist, I would die.
Literally.
But
and as somebody who, as I said, as somebody who has already stated twice now that I don't really like Proton, it's still a service that I could confidently say to somebody who just wants a simple way to de-Google is like, yeah, you could probably just go with Proton.
Exactly.
They have like a little bit of drive storage. They have a decent email. They have a good onboarding process. It's just overall a really good service. You can go now.
My bad. Here's to when I get passionate about topics. I think we're both passionate about this. So
no, I understand the same way. I'm trying to get there as well.
Well, we ride with the autism, boys. So I actually have two other issues with Proton though, and I mean, trust me, any like blind shill who's just telling you Proton's the greatest ever or whatever wouldn't tell you this. Proton's.
Oh my god, I love crypto wallets, guys.
I remember seeing that whole like Proton crypto wallet thing. That's fucking stupid. Also, what I think is stupid is that the drive storage or whatever, the free version only has like 500 megabytes of RAM. That's fucking unusable for anybody versus Google, which gives 15
gigs.
Did you say
500 megabytes of RAM as storage? What are you talking about?
Not RAM. Fuck. It's been a long day. 500 megabytes of storage. I meant not RAM. Jesus Christ.
That's for the email, and it's bigger for the drive. You get like 5, I think, or 3.
5 gigs, you mean?
Yeah, gigs.
Did they increase it? Because whenever I vividly remember it only being 500 megabytes for the drive.
Let me open my Proton. For reference, I actually have a Proton account that I made recently just to like, because I already don't like the servers, but I wanted to make one just to check it out a little bit. And there's like a little bit of onboarding you can do. And yeah, it's 5 gigabytes. I'll send you a screenshot.
Yeah, okay. Well, another thing that I don't like about them is that they are very disingenuous. Purposefully, I feel like they blur the lines between, we're like a foundation, we're open source, we're nonprofit, whatever. But then it's actually, I believe the nonprofit owns the for-profit, or it's vice versa.
Other way, and it's the for-profit owns the nonprofit so that they can't buy out the company.
Yeah. So it's still a for-profit company. Look, if you want to know my take on this situation, it's actually just pretty plain simple. I still think that Proton's a valuable service for a lot of people, but I also think that Proton's still a big company, that they're a big corporation that has to make their fucking money, right? If you think about Proton's business model, they're already operating at pretty thin margins. I would just imagine, I don't know their internal finances or whatever, but just if I had to take a wild guess, they're not, some companies operate at like $5 plus profit per sale or whatever. Proton's probably operating at like $1 per sale or something, like $2 per sale. Because also, to my knowledge, they run their own data centers and stuff, right? Like for their services.
Yes, they own their hardware.
Yeah, they own their hardware, which adds significant cost to everything too. So it's, when it comes to Proton in this situation, first off, like I mentioned earlier, I briefly mentioned it. A/B testing prices is actually like I remember seeing some people on social media freaking out about this, saying like this is actually illegal. Oh my god, this is actually like against the law. It's actually very normal, especially in the world of like e-commerce, especially Amazon does it all the time.
Amazon does it, eBay does it, Google does it, Apple does it.
Airlines are notorious for doing it. Airlines are the worst about that, and almost nobody cares with that because we just accept it as a fact of reality. But I feel like Proton is put under a lot more scrutiny than those companies. So I feel like a lot of this like massive backlash that Proton's evil or whatever, I think it's people blowing it out of proportion because Proton's supposed to be the good guys, you know what I mean? And like everyone kind of has this mental image in their head. All the privacy shill YouTubers and stuff make it sound like they're like the best corporation in the world, kind of like Valve, right? Or like Steam. Everyone thinks that Valve is like the greatest company in the world, a bunch of Linux bros especially, but they still, you know, peddle gambling to children. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like no company.
That's more of an inherent issue with like a lot of these like people who watch these privacy YouTubers and start caring about privacy, is that they kind of look at things at like, these are the good guys, these are the good companies, and when they do one bad thing, they just immediately ditch and start like raging in extremism. It's like,
how crazy
can
would the
we
reality
calm
be?
down a little bit?
How crazy would the world be if it turned out that they were just corporations, massive corporations just trying to make money and doing stuff? like
Crazy,
wow.
dude. It's
Companies
just
sometimes do bad
that's
things and
kind of an
sometimes do good
issue.
things. Crazy
If
work.
someone in Discord chat said, "Hot take: good guy, bad guy is not binary." That's true. You know, you're not always going to be 100% good. You're not always going to be 100% bad.
There's
It's
no
just
such
not how
thing
that
as a
works.
good company, so to speak. There's good
Yeah,
people in
because
companies and there's bad people in companies, but a company is just like a vessel, so to speak. It's not, it doesn't have its own brain. It's not making its own decisions. The company itself literally isn't doing anything. It's people behind the company that's doing stuff. It, like there's different actors at play, so to speak, in a company that large. You got to understand that. Like there's, I'm sure there's a side of Proton that's very passionate about what they do and cares about the people and all that stuff, and then there's the other side of Proton that's going, how do we capitalize
it needs
this?
to
How
make
do we
money.
make ends meet? How do we pay the bills? Right? It's like a tug of war, so to speak, in a company that large. That's just speaking from my own experience as well. Just like that tends to be kind of how it is. I feel like a lot of people, I mean, it's understandably so. A lot of people view companies as kind of just this one singular unit, when in reality it's just a bunch of departments all basically scrambling to like push agendas. It, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In like, for example, the finance department, I'm sure their agenda is trying to make as much money for the company as possible. Same with the managers. Meanwhile, the engineers are trying to, you know, actually like they're trying to also make money, but then they're trying to also like make stuff that it won't implode. They're trying to secure their job security. They're not trying to, you know, when the manager goes, guys, we need to make our email fully AI. The engineers are fucking fighting for their lives to try to get that shut down because it's a terrible idea.
Google engineers crying, "Oh, fucking new Gemini feature shit." But even on that though, if you really think about it, at the end of the day, Proton is the same level of company, maybe slightly less, because I mean, they have a lot more of the like actual, you know, backing behind a lot of their privacy claims. But they're just as much as a corporation as Google is a corporation. And I can guarantee you, if Google was not around, a lot of us would probably have a much worse experience on the internet. There's a chance that we're not even talking to each other right now. Because a lot of us, you know, a lot of what things are built on nowadays is just fucking Chromium.
I mean, they're literally watching me on YouTube, but that's not to say
Yeah,
that
yeah, they're
YouTube
also
is
watching
good.
on YouTube. Also.
It's not to say that
Yeah.
YouTube is good. YouTube is ass, but
And remember, all of the things that you will hate about, you don't hate necessarily the people at Google.
well,
You
you
just
see
hate,
that.
all you really hate there is just like the
I think a good
profiting of
example is YouTube, though. YouTube is a
Yeah,
genuinely valuable
perfect
service that
example.
a lot of people like, and you know,
Oh,
actually
literally.
get use out of and stuff daily, even myself included. But also, YouTube fucking sucks because there's ads blasted and everything. Like, it's almost like it's almost like it's not as simple as this good, this bad.
This bad, this good.
Yeah. You see, me personally, I have nothing against a company trying to make money. I have nothing against it at all. I actually still generally like what Proton's doing, and I actually even disagree with some parts of what they're doing. Like, I think that purposefully building your services that to be centralized, to like rely on you as a company to stay sustainable, designing it in that way is good if you're trying to keep the company like important enough to stay alive, if you're trying to keep a company alive. But if you're trying to keep a genuinely valuable service alive even past a company's existence, like, obviously over centralizing isn't, a good thing. I don't think that like, for example, I think that, well, I mean, the kind of services they offer are very much like services that fundamentally have to be centralized. Like, even Drive and everything like that kind of has to be centralized. But
Bitcoin wallet, though, I don't know if that's the best thing to keep centralized.
the Proton
Honestly,
wallet thing, I think, is genuinely kind of stupid. And here's
It should
another
be
complaint
removed.
with Proton. I think that they're spreading themselves too thin. They keep launching like 3 new services every couple of months, and they're not giving enough attention to their other already existing services, so they're releasing like a bunch of kind of mid products, a bunch of like mid services. You know what I mean? Instead of making like one really good thing and then making
It's
another
gonna get
really
to
good
a
thing.
See, it's going to get to a point where they're eventually going to be spread too thin. Not only is it the whole day point of they're not going to be able to support all their older services. It's going to get to a point where I don't know if they're going to be able to support their generous free plan as much as they do. The more things that they have to fund, the more things that they have to support. That's less spare money for their free plan. So a lot of the free plan users are going to get
Also,
fucked
I want to
over.
address something really quick. Someone said all problems route to money in the Discord chat. Hard disagree. The Dizzy Whale even said the money isn't the problem, greed is. Yeah, it's money itself is not the problem, man. That's that's
Ain't
not.
nothing wrong with wanting money, man.
There's
How the
nothing
world
wrong with
works.
money, man. Because then
Only
that's
wrong
when
is it's
that's
not
when we
going to
get
my
into
bank
the,
account.
well, it's just late stage capitalism. Capitalism bad, guys. Let's all become socialists. No, money's not bad, man. It's greed
bad
has
thing.
existed long before money even existed. Like,
It used to be with fucking gold. It used to be with salt. It used to be with rock. It used to be with materials. It has always existed. It is what ruins everything.
greed
It's not.
is just a that yeah.
It's one of the 7 deadly sins for a reason.
Greed is
want to
actually
very-
exactly the reason why communism doesn't work, but we're not getting into political discussions.
We're not
staying
getting
on
into
topic.
that.
So
That's
Proton.
for that will be for the final episode of the White Boys podcast.
Just please stop calling it that. please,
Sorry,
please.
Raven Pro Team. That's what we're calling this, Raven Pro Team. Because we're super pro.
This isn't even a podcast, man. It's just 2 dickheads in a fucking call yapping about shit.
White Boys podcast presented by Raven.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. I don't want this to be known as the White Boys podcast, please.
Can we just call them M&Ms or something? Because I don't know what M&Ms are apparently.
This is just
Okay, you need to make like a community poll just to ask what we should call this shit.
yeah, true.
Okay. Anyway, back on topic.
So Proton. TLDR of this situation, in my opinion, is that this was severely blown out of proportion. Even one guy in the YouTube chat even said, like, I honestly don't, I low-key don't care. Like, wow, they're doing A/B testing on their pricing. Whoa, crazy, man. I think the only thing that's like a big issue though is that the general manager tried to lie about it. I think that's
the main
the one.
really like.
I think we didn't address that very much. Like, that is an issue. A company that's, Proton's entire existence relies on trust, like public trust. They've been carefully articulating that and building it for literally years. So when they're violating trust like that with their community, obviously now that's a big deal. So while I don't necessarily think that the A/B testing thing is a big deal, I think that the general manager coming out and saying that, oh, it must have been some sale that ended recently. Oh, like I think that's bullshit. So what's your thoughts on that part of it?
That's the main thing that I was really not very happy about because again, as someone who doesn't like Proton, whenever I know that their business is just it's all trust, right? Because all you're doing when most people what they're doing is when they're moving away from Google over to Proton, they're putting a lot of their trust into Proton because, as you know, it's a suite of applications. So whenever you start to violate the trust of the user, they're going to want to start, maybe moving to other services, moving to other providers, and at that point, your entire business fails because you have no more trust. If they keep doing things like this and they keep having more like things where they're like, "Oh, that's not actually happening," but then someone verifies it's happening, people are not going to like Proton if they keep doing this shit.
Yeah. I honestly, I actually checked recently to see if Proton had made any public statements about this situation, and it seems like they're also just trying to keep quiet about it, which I don't think is playing in their favor, because that's the typical MO of this kind of situation of any bigger company like that. When a situation like this happens, the best thing to do is just keep quiet and it'll blow over. That's what, the PR people tell you. But in reality, I feel like that's just, if they don't really address it, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, and people will just keep asking questions, making assumptions, and it'll keep boiling over,
Not to mention, all it takes is like one of these like really, really big privacy slop tubers making one video that says, do not use Proton, and they list a bunch of reasons and they will do it. Like, I don't know if you remember about 4 to 5 years ago when Techlore made a video about Graphene OS, there's a lot of people who stopped using Graphene OS because of that one video. It just takes one video and you can like ruin the reputation of
Techlore
it.
was from Technolore is a Linus Tech Tips thing, right? Is it? Or am I stupid? No, that
Techlore
was
is a
the other one.
independent guy.
Oh, okay. Is he that one guy who like made a video saying that like his
Thank you in the chat for saying that. You're thinking of was Tech Quickie.
Tech Quickie, that's what I was thinking of. You're right. The lying makes it kind of bad. Otherwise, it's nothing special. A trust-based service should be very honest. Yeah, I think that was honestly the big mistake that they made.
What you're saying though, Co? Or KO, sorry.
What now? What?
You were saying something and then we got like distracted.
Oh, my fault. I already forgot.
It was something about Techlore and he was saying he made blah 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 blah.
I was trying to check because I thought I recognized that name for a video.
If you look up his channel, his face is very memorable because it's very punchable. That for legal reasons, that's a joke.
I don't think you need to say for legal reasons that's a joke. I think you can have an opinion that someone's face is punchable. I don't know what the laws of Tennessee are, though. I can't find it. I remember seeing this one privacy YouTuber, though, who was saying, like, you need to use a VPN for everything. Every single component of your setup needs to be like a separate service because
you said always through VPN, and I immediately know who it was. It's the hated one. He is the biggest privacy
hated one. That name sounds familiar. Because
that's who it is.
Half of his videos are him just bragging like, I don't monetize, and I also like.
I do not monetize this. You should go support my Patreon to support real journalism.
Is he that one? Is because like literally he has like 10-minute segments in like every single one of his videos, like talking about like you need to. This is it.
Yes,
this is him. Yep. I first saw his videos when he was a newer YouTuber, when he was still, well, no, not like a newer YouTuber. This guy has videos back from 10 years ago, but like I started watching his videos back when he was still like kind of smaller. And I remember it was a video about that, and he was basically saying like every single one of your like things, your password manager, your email, your everything needs to be a different service or like a different piece of software. Never use a piece of software for more than one thing. And then he also mentioned how he thinks that Proton's like the devil.
99% Google thing.
Okay, no, he never said that. He has never said that Proton is the devil.
He never said
just
that
thinks
Proton
they're-
was the devil. I put that in his mouth to be fair, as an overgeneralization. But
Yeah,
he did
he had
say,
specifically stated that he wants in his the Proton video. He said that instead of using all of their services, you should just use a few of them and ignore things like the crypto wallet.
and then he also brought up the whole like IP address thing with the government, didn't he? About the whole
Yeah,
like how they turned over their IP addresses. That means that Proton isn't safe or whatever. And it's like,
no, he didn't say that. He just said that it was dangerous. It was dangerous to use a VPN with the same company that provides you email because it's easier for them to log your IP, which I mean is true.
yeah,
They can.
I mean, yeah.
But the way he had framed it was basically like, "This is bad. This is bad for OPSEC. You can't do this. You need to use a different service now. Pay for
It's
this service and stuff."
Yeah, but it's that kind of advice. My big thing with that guy, my big issue with honestly a lot of those privacy YouTubers is privacy and OPSEC against who? Like,
Exactly. His entire channel doesn't have any sort of threat model.
Has-
He just tells you to do things without
has
actually
anyone
saying.
anyone watching this stream who maybe watches this like more privacy content or whatever, have you guys ever once thought about like who you're actually trying to like, who is the enemy, who is the person you're trying to protect against, right? Because like exactly what you just said, his like he has no threat model.
You know, he
There's
defines
no
threat model.
there's no defined adversary, you know what I mean? It's just blanket advice against the fucking wind, right? Like, and I feel like that's a big
There's
reason why people
actually-
feel like privacy is like impossible nowadays, is because they really make it feel like it's impossible because you're fighting against like the fucking wind. It's the government running the bird spies. You must protect yourself from your ISP telling the government to call the birds on you. True and factual.
There was actually this one YouTuber in the past. He hasn't uploaded in forever, but he's one that I actually could reasonably recommend to people. His name was Eric Murphy, and
Brother,
I remember him. Huh?
carry on.
His name was I think it was Eric Murphy or some other last name that rhymes with Murphy. But basically, he actually had made a bunch of videos saying how people are overdoing privacy and a lot. He talked about how people need to really assess their threat model, and he made an entire video. It was really stupid because he was explaining privacy models with soy jacks, but it was really funny, and I thought it was an actual video I could use to explain to like someone who doesn't know any better.
Well,
on how to, like,
I've literally
actually
I've made a video titled, where is it? I made a video titled "Cybersecurity is Easy." Have you
My
seen
entire
that
point
one?
with that though is that this is a guy who actually, instead of doing what a lot of these privacy YouTubers do and just say you need to use this, you got to do this, you need
You
to
ignored me.
obfuscate this, you need to do this. This guy actually just like what?
You ignored me.
I wasn't finished with my point.
I interrupt you, and then I get upset about interrupting.
Everybody unsubscribe from this guy now. Talon is malware. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Yo, Talon is
Um,
malware is crazy work.
Anyway, as I was saying, my point was here is that this was a YouTuber, kind of similar to what you do, where he wasn't just saying you need to protect yourself from the big scary guy. He was saying find what you need to protect yourself from and then act. And
Yeah.
that's what I think more of these YouTubers need to do, and not just say you need WOPSEC. You need to hide your IP. You need to get this mail service. You cannot use this service with this service. They're going to log your IP.
I think you've sent me
It
the
needs to be more
meme
about-
before where it says like privacy, cybersecurity guys. Whenever I
Protocol
don't have
when-
buttfuck
yeah.
OS installed, running like super OPSEC proxy VPN or whatever. And it's so true because like that's privacy actually sounds like some kind of like mastermind. Like you have to be like a level 900 IQ motherfucker, like living in the fucking woods, Ted Bundy style, with like a ThinkPad from 20 years ago. You rip the TPM out. It like you're still using an HDD running. Yeah, Libre booted.
W400 ThinkPad.
You're running like you compiled the OS yourself.
Gen 2.
Yeah, Gen 2.
Oh god, no, we can add on to that in a later topic about Libre boot. I have a lot to talk about that shit. Oh my god.
But I made a video. I'm sure. I don't know if you watched it, Daniel. Daniel, did you watch it?
I did.
Okay.
I watched like most of your videos, dude.
Cool. Nice. You guys should too. But it's titled.
I've been a fan since the beginning.
It's titled "Cybersecurity is Easy," And this title might be controversial or might sound controversial or whatever, right? Because like when you hear that, it's like, no, it isn't. And I have to admit, it's slightly a clickbaity title because in small text in the thumbnail, I have 4 less tech savvy users at the bottom. But that's generally the point I'm making is like for an average less tech savvy user, actually security and privacy is not that difficult in my opinion, like because it depends on who you're trying to, it depends, right? That's the answer that it always comes down to. In reality, if you're trying to hide from the government, then like if you're trying to hide that you exist from the government, then honestly just good luck to you, brave soldier. You're not going to do that. If you're trying to, if you're not worried about the government seeing that you exist, but then just worried about like hiding exactly what you're saying, like the government can see that you're saying stuff, they just can't see what you're saying. Now, if that's your threat model, then it becomes a lot more realistic. Like if the government knows that I have a YouTube channel, they can watch my videos and stuff, but whenever it comes to me, privately messaging certain my friends or whatever, they can't read my messages, my exchanges. They can't do that, right? Take endpoint for example, what we're building, right? The endpoint doesn't try to hide the fact that a communication happened because that's kind of just a pointless battle. That's never, you're not going to do that, right? I know so many services try to do that, but it's just there's so much bullshit to it. In reality, the best thing to do is hide the communication, like the actual like merits of the communication. Yeah, the communication happened, you don't know jack shit about the communication though, you know what I mean? That tends to be a much stronger model. At least for me, my threat model, my, OPSEC, my level 9 OPSEC, whatever the fuck, I just don't want Meta or any of those other advertisers, Google Ads and all that shit, tracking me everywhere. I don't want all the trackers, knowing every single website I'm visiting and every single thing I'm looking at and tracing it all together just to sell me some bullshit. I don't want, because have you guys seen that shit where apparently now they're like doing, Kroger is trying to like, is trying to work on adaptive pricing for their groceries.
Yep. The same Walmart has been doing the same thing as well. It's not just Kroger, it's several different stores.
Yeah, that shit scares the fuck out of me. They try to like figure out roughly how much you're willing to pay for something and then maybe overcharge you, whatever, right, for that thing because they think they can get away with it. And
one
that's
of the things that they use for that and oh, sorry. You can go. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that a big part of that is data collection. I don't know if that was what you were going to say, but like, harvesting the
No,
data.
I was going to add on to how they, one of the easiest ways that they do this and how they know where you're going. A lot of these stores, and this is why, as a little tip, if you're not using Bluetooth, you should turn it off. Stores will actually use your Bluetooth, I believe Bluetooth, a lot of Bluetooth devices just have like a static MAC address, which they can use to track where you're going around the store to do this adaptive pricing. If not, they can figure out it's you through security cameras and sell that information of what you were like looking at, what you were tempted to buy at stores, and then give you targeted advertising later on.
Well, because that's valuable data.
Yeah, it's valuable data, and that's what they're doing, to get you all of these, do you want to buy this? You're looking at this at the store, man. This on Amazon here, it's like 70%.
Since I've been can pilled, I bet they probably know that I'm like buying a bunch of canned food now. So I bet they know that
probably,
I'm probably
now your advertising ID has canned food attached to it.
Yeah. Let's say you're jump scared with a crummy mobile ad. Does that mean you're already being tracked? Just getting ads doesn't necessarily mean that you're being tracked, but
remember, ads. There's tracking ads and there's generic ads. You can get a generic ad.
Most ads are tracking ads nowadays, though. But ads typically have trackers in them, and what they try to they just try to identify as much data about like. Because think about it this way, right? Anyone who's not using an ad blocker on the internet, God forbid.
Literally.
Pretty much every major website has a Facebook, what's called a Facebook pixel in it. And it's this singular invisible pixel on the web page that just is tracking your behavior on the web page, tracking, because it can actually see when you go from one website to another. And the way they do that is because if you go from one website with a Facebook tracking pixel to another website with a Facebook tracking pixel, then Facebook sees that you just went from that website to that other website. And it can also see the page that you're on, and it can see information about like, your behavior on the web page or whatever else, right? certain things like this are valuable data, and after a couple times of you going through those websites, you know, they see a consistent fingerprint in terms of like your device IDs, your everything like that, right? Then they can start correlating and identifying and confirm that that is you. And then once they have a target, like, yes, that is that person, they can say it with pretty high confidence. Then they can start advertising based on your preferences or whatever, based on their tracking, right? And goddamn, I mean, I worked at a, I worked for a, not an advertising company, but a YouTube sponsor agency, for a while. And I was like I was their one and only engineer. Crazy now. I actually looked on their website not long ago. It's AI generated. Man, they are not doing too hot without me. But but yeah, I was single-handedly like keeping that entire company's like technical side of things going.
That's great, man.
And they didn't pay me nearly enough for it. But at least with that, I kind of got some insight into how that whole kind of world works. I know that it's not necessarily the same as that kind of advertising, but it is advertising nonetheless, right? Because it's sponsorships and YouTube and stuff, right? And since I got to see the technical side of things, I got to see the spreadsheets they were working with and stuff, you know, them tracking the publicly available audience statistics, what kind of statistics they would request from content creators whenever they started working with them, and how they would use that information to, you know what I mean? And like kind of seeing kind of the, because also I kind of got to see a bit of like, you know, whenever a company reaches out to the agency because they want to like run a campaign, they tend to ask for like certain specific audiences or statistics or whatever, and then it's up to the agency to find the best creators for that or whatever. And just kind of seeing that whole process and everything like that, it was. It really kind of pulls back the curtain a bit. It kind of shows the reality of that all. Now that agency is smaller and wasn't nearly as sophisticated as like fucking Google or Meta in terms of advertising, whatever, surely, but it still again kind of gave me that kind of idea of how that stuff goes on. And let me tell you this right now, it's not some big spooky scary, you know, shadow government, whatever the fuck, trying to like harvest all your data to like eat your soul or whatever. It's more like data is just valuable. Understanding a person's patterns and behavior is valuable because you can market to them and sell them stuff. And they can also you know, learn how people behave on their platforms and can optimize their platforms for maximum efficiency. And it's you know, that's really, I feel like, their main motives. But I'm not here to like sit here. I feel like I'm kind of veering off topic a little bit.
Yeah, let's go and reel this back.
Yeah, let's reel it back in. So
to say, I know a lot of this might, you know, it seems kind of scary. There's this entire process they go through in order to harvest and, you know, sift through and get your data to market it back to you. This does not mean that if you like rely on a big tech service, this does not mean that you should like cold turkey stop using it. If something is objectively worse, that does not mean you should just immediately cold turkey.
Can we talk about that real quick? Because I
want to transition into that.
Yeah, so many privacy-focused YouTubers and privacy-focused services and stuff market themselves as like complete alternatives. Meanwhile, they actually are just objectively worse. Like, they are actually just bad. Like, alternatives.
Someone in the chat said bandwagon effect. I agree here.
It's like you. Like I think the most prime example is something like, I guess, GIMP or whatever versus like Photoshop.
Oh my fucking god.
Right? Photoshop sucks in a lot of ways, but comparatively to like the actual value you get out of the tool compared to something like GIMP or whatever, like it is ass in comparison. And another example I think too is that
Google Drive 15 gigabytes for free compared to 5 for Proton.
Yeah, that's another example too. I mean, Proton's, I feel like Proton Drive's
it's pretty
not
generous,
terrible,
but like compare an extra 10 gigabytes.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
for like because I'll tell you this right now. My mom, for example, you know what she cares about? She cares that she can store her photos on the drive, right, and be able to access them again later. And she's got like a million fucking photos on that, and it takes up a lot of space. But then if she only has fucking 5 gigs of that shit versus like 15, she's gonna be more upset about that. She finds more value in the 15 gigs, and since privacy isn't necessarily like a massive selling point for a lot of people, it generally speaking, like most people, when they hear privacy as like as the main reason to switch to something, that's not really a reason enough to switch for most people. I know that a lot of people are very passionate about privacy and stuff, me included, but at the same time, convenience and usability matter as well. Like, for example, this is
You want a really
honestly
good
the best
example,
example I can give. The best example I can give, at least, is that I'm still on Windows, right? I'm, because at least in my opinion, I just find Windows easier to deal with for my workflows and everything. And that's the number one thing that, like, I used to get shit about. I don't really get shit about it much more anymore. But especially back then, like, I got a lot of shit for being like, oh, look at this quote unquote privacy YouTuber using Windows, right? Am I right, guys? Like, and I
Minus
genuinely
a
would get
billion
comments
OPSEC.
like that. Yeah. But the reality is that I genuinely like Windows is just easier for less tech savvy users, and at least in my opinion, for the stuff that I do, my workflows and stuff, I've found Windows to just generally be better for me, right? And I mean, I've tried Linux. I have, and you can't say that I haven't tried Linux. I have seriously committed to Linux for a year on my main PC and 2 years and
I
a
used
little bit of
Gentoo for a
change.
year, man.
Yeah, and I switched back because
And I switched back
genuinely
to Windows as well.
it just wasn't for me, man. That's why you have Talon to
Yeah,
make
but
Windows 11 experience more bearable. Yeah, that's exactly why Talon exists, because I came back to Windows and I was like, God, I don't want to fucking debloat Windows for the millionth goddamn time. I'm sick and tired of this shit. And so that's, yeah, that's where Talon came from. But
I saw someone in chat say that Photoshop is shit and GIMP is shit, but in Linux, that's really funny.
that's
Fucking stage chat. That's really good. Please pin that, bro. That's a gem.
that is a fucking gem. I don't think I'll pin it, but I will
You're real for that.
I will Pukeko emote it.
I will give it a little extra one. Another big one here, right? Is imagine somebody asks to let's say me, the privacy focused and like security enjoyer of the friend group, and my friend's like, I really don't like that these big tech companies are tracking me, and I feel like my phone's privacy is bad. Imagine I tell that person to go buy a specific phone with an unlocked bootloader, flash it with an OS they've never heard of called Graphene OS, and I have to tell them, okay, to get all the apps you need to create a sandbox for Google, right? And then in that sandbox, you're going to install all your apps. But then you're going to make another other sandbox for your free apps. Oh, by the way, for those apps, you need to go to this random website you've never heard of to get this installer called F-Droid. Don't worry, okay, I'll get into this. And you need to get this thing called Obtainium. Why? Oh, 'cause some of your apps are going to come from Git repos. You don't know what Git is? You see my point? Versus,
Same with Linux.
okay, here's what
It's
you're going
like,
to do. You're going to go to the
okay,
store.
hold on,
You're
I
gonna
got
go
to
to the
I got to
store, and
interrupt
you're
you
gonna-
for a
wait,
second
wait,
because
wait.
a prime example here is Linux as well, because it's like you have a friend who's like, oh man, you're the privacy person of the friend group, and I legitimately see people all the time. Someone's having an issue with Windows, and they'll maybe make like even a Reddit
Bro,
post
just use
about like
Linux.
a
Bro,
Windows
just use
issue.
Linux, bro.
Bro, just use Linux. You know what just use
And you see
Linux
it all
is?
the time. I see it all the time on fucking Reddit, dude.
It's
Okay,
actually
let me
crazy
finish
because
what I was
then
saying,
you're telling a non-tech savvy user, hey man, let me walk you through it. You just want a little more privacy, or you just want better performance in your games. Yeah, first you need to buy a USB drive. You need to download an ISO after researching, picking which distro you want. But trust me, Linux Mint the best. Trust.
Let me finish my analogy here. Though,
Yeah,
because
here.
I think this
Yeah,
is
go for it.
literally everybody in the fucking world is gonna like at this point we need phones, right? If somebody wants more privacy and honestly even more security at this point with how bad Android has gotten, I would rather tell them to just get an iPhone, which is very familiar to a lot of people. Most people in the US know how an iPhone works. And just like you can flick these settings, you can do this, you can turn on this thing called data protection, and you just save this little one key to your phone and you're fine. You can You can stop a lot of the tracking and telemetry by doing this. Versus, okay, get this phone, flash an operating system, and do all these different things you've never done before, and you have to maintain and update your apps manually. You see how that doesn't work. Versus non-tech savvy user, I tell them you flick a few settings, and this setting does this, and I can explain to them easily because it's all just in a bunch of menus they know how to access.
And this is
It's just
exactly
your
why
solution.
Talon works for its audience, at least, because
Just an
the
easy
whole
little
reason
menu.
why Talon works for people is they're like, oh man, I'm sick and tired of Windows being so shit, and I don't want to switch to Windows 11 because it fucking sucks. And it's like, oh, I got you, bro. Here, download this. They run the one command in PowerShell. They pick their browser. They maybe just look at the settings, right, and then they just hit start. Wait a few minutes, and it just fucking does the thing, man. It's you know what I mean, and like
Yeah.
people just get going. And
I kind of see that as like I kind of see the same thing in iPhones. You flick a few settings, you restart it, and it's done.
yeah,
Versus, how people with your Talon, you flick a few settings, it does its work and it's done. Versus Graphene OS, you have to flick a bunch of settings, you have to install a bunch of different you have to sideload a bunch of shit. Or on Linux, you have to do a bunch of terminal commands
well,
just
I
to get your
think
system to work.
okay, well, I think to be specific, to be fair to Graphene OS at least, I think that Graphene
No,
OS
I like Graphene.
specifically.
It's just
Well, I think the thing with
I like
Graphene OS
Graphene.
is that they purposefully are catering to privacy focused people. I don't think they're trying
Yeah.
to cater to like broader audiences, which is
That's
fair.
the issue though, is that a
Having
lot of people are
specialized
recommending
software
Graphene as a
is
super easy
understandable though.
thing. Mm-hmm.
If
That's
if Graphene
the
OS
issue
is
though, is
trying
that
to
it's
be for
specialized.
tech savvy, stop interrupting me. God damn
You
it!
were interrupting me too. Fuck you. You were interrupting me too. Okay. Fuck
God
you.
damn it!
We're both
Fuck you.
passionate and autistic. We're both passionate and autistic. Okay. Sorry.
This is not the White Boys podcast way.
I'm actually blocking you like right now. Anyways, continue so I can continue my yap too.
If you guys couldn't tell, we are passionate about this stuff. Though this stream must be like actually hard to sit through because it's just two fucking idiots like talking over each other for 30 minutes.
What the? No, bro. Don't use Talon if you want to save 512 megabytes. You need to actually manually debug the fluid mass spectrometer with a KitchenAid mixer and a Blue Yeti, and then compile Windows from leaked code. What the fuck did I just read?
It's just the OC3 optical lines. You wouldn't understand. They're passing it through hyper-threading and parallel virtual machines. You wouldn't get it,
bro. As I was saying with graphene, though, it's specialized. That's the thing, though. It's specialized and should stay specialized. And if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, don't recommend it to them because it's specialized.
I feel like so many people are so deep into the privacy like echo chamber that they think that that's just normal, and they think that like normal people also could like do that just fine without realizing that they're like neck deep in like some real like niche shit. Like, I'll tell you this right now, most people aren't going to have a good time with Graphene OS. At least in my opinion, and in the current state of how Linux is, I think that most average everyday people aren't going to have a good time with Linux. Oh, I'm all alone now. Maybe I could finally get a word in without being interrupted. Daniel.
You were interrupting me too, fuck ass. You interrupted me 5 times.
I don't want to hear it. What happened with Proton?
Fuck you.
They did A/B testing on their pricing. A bunch of people freaked the fuck out because it was a massive, oh my god, they're changing the prices, adaptive pricing. Oh my god, it's here. Proton's a scam. Proton's bad. Delete your accounts. And it turned out to be like, big company does A/B testing on their pricing. Wow, right? Like the big whoop. But their general manager of Proton VPN did lie about the situation, which is what made it kind of more of a big deal. What about CachyOS? I don't know enough about CachyOS to answer that. SteamOS is pretty good too. SteamOS is specialized software, not in the same way though. SteamOS is fucking amazing for being a console OS, for being like a handheld console, like a handheld PC like that, or like a console OS. SteamOS is spectacular, but trying to use it as your like daily driver desktop PC, I wouldn't say is like the best. A lot of the privacy stuff people are trying to push are like designed for people in oppressive countries or at-risk journalists, not someone who doesn't know what an encrypted is. That's exactly my point. Like, imagine trying to explain to a less tech-savvy user, like, oh yeah, bro, you just need to start like doing everything through Tor, or like, yo, bro, just use
Oh my
I2P.
fucking god, that's pissing me off.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Maybe they could do something like lerp the A and B prices by whomever liked which price better. What? I didn't understand a word of that. I'm not gonna lie. But in terms of like where what was the whole point what was the whole overarching point we were making here? I got a little lost in the sauce.
With Proton or with what? What at this point? Sorry, I was responding to a text real quick from a friend.
At this point, we've just been talking about like privacy software. And
I mean,
stuff
all,
like
all
that.
of this is branched off from the Proton thing, so we're not exactly off topic. We're still on topic of privacy, security, and advertising and shit.
Well,
like
actually,
that,
I think I know how to tie it back in. You see, this is exactly why I think that Proton is like, at least the service they're providing is good. I can't speak to the company themselves, like the people behind the company who are being great people or whatever. But what I can say is that I do like the company's offerings, and I think that the company's products, their VPN, their mail and stuff for less tech savvy users is the best option if it's just less tech savvy users wanting a bit more privacy. I think that they're still just the best option because in terms of convenience and what you're getting, the service itself is very valuable. It's not, when it comes to services, I'm not evaluating them based on, well, this company, tweets every day on Twitter about like, oh yeah, privacy is a human right, so that means that I'm going to use their service and fuck every other service. I don't care if a company says that, oh, we're private. I don't give a shit. What I give a shit is about is a actual valuable service. You know what I mean? Someone told me to stop using Proton because they got someone arrested. Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. There's people who do you want to explain it or should I?
You can go ahead. Hang on. I'm actually responding to something like really important. I actually might need a moment.
So, in short of that whole like, someone got arrested because Proton gave up their IP address. Oh my God. It's almost like a company that brags about, oh my God, we're Swiss based, so that means that we're like the best privacy in the world or whatever. What happens when the Swiss government, mandates them to give up information? Then what? They're legally compelled to by the government. Is the service just supposed to go out of business and get fined millions of dollars and all this shit, be like violating a court order and shit because of one guy's privacy? No. If you're expecting a company to realistically do that, then you're just not going to get that. Anytime you connect to a website or a server or anything, right, you're giving your IP address is being sent to that server. That's just a fact of how the internet fundamentally works. So, for example, if you guys on YouTube right now or you guys on Discord right now, you're sending your IP address. Your IP address is being sent to YouTube, is being sent to Discord right now. Because IP addresses, technically speaking, are public information. At least to the services that you're using and everything. That's why they don't really consider IP addresses private information, because an IP address is just like a network identifier. It's a basic network identifier that every single, think of it like an address, like a home address, right? If you're trying to send mail to someone, you need to know their home address, right? And if you send mail to someone, then at least, if we're sticking to this analogy, they can see the address that sent it. They can see who sent it, right? So that's just like, yeah, that's just how that works. And if yeah, I mean, if you do illegal shit, then you're going to be arrested, and they were obligated to do it. Yeah, like, I don't really blame Proton that much for that. It doesn't mean that Proton's insecure, Proton's lying, they're actually not private or whatever. It just means that they are a company that people connect to their service, and when the Swiss government forces them to forfeit information, they have to do that by law. They try to, and that's something we were actually going to talk about. I might save this for when Daniel comes back. I don't know how long he's going to be, but we were going to talk about.
I just finished my text. You're good.
Okay. Well, perfect timing, because this is a good segue into the next thing we were talking about, which is that
Our sponsor. Oh, sorry, I was thinking LPT brain.
Jesus fucking Christ. But
What did I miss? Can you give me a little recap of what I just missed in the past minute or
I was
two?
talking about Proton and how the whole IP address thing, where they forfeited the IP address of that kid who got arrested for skipping school or whatever. And it boils down to that, wow, companies are accountable to laws? Holy shit, really? No
Remember,
way.
no company is going to take a $5 wrench for you. Nothing is going. You are not protected by a billion layers of something. They're going to go up to that company, put some guy in. Okay, this is an exaggeration, but they're going to put some guy in a room and say, "Give us the information, or I'm going to hit you in the head with this little $5 wrench." No one's taking a wrench for you. They're going to.
And the reality version of that is that they have a court order and that they're giving it to Proton, and either they can, comply with the court order, or their entire company's in jeopardy over one guy, right? You see what I'm saying? It's a fundamental flaw with if you're worried about a company forfeiting your data like that, then use decentralized services. Use something that isn't a centralized service like Proton. And at that point, reassess your threat model. Like, who are you hiding from? Most people aren't hiding from the government. I guess that kid was, but most people aren't hiding from the government in that way. So, what about Molvad? Apparently, they got raided by a police group and they came out with nothing because nothing was stored. Yeah, Molvad's a good example of, well, because email's a lot different than VPN services. Right. The way email fundamentally works is that they're gonna have your IP address. Okay, let's not be kidding ourselves here. If it's an email provider, they're gonna have your IP address because that is a fundamental aspect of just email. VPN's a bit different though, because if they are using RAM-based services and doing it the way Molvad does it, then yes, that the police can raid them and walk away with literally nothing. That can happen. I know Proton also has a VPN service, so I guess that's why, it often gets correlated. It gets, brought up with this as well. But as to my knowledge, at least Molvad doesn't provide email as well.
They only provide a VPN service, and they make their own really shitty browser.
Yeah, that browser's ass. You only have to quote unquote hide from the government if you committed a crime. Government doesn't care that you need to meet your friend at a Starbucks at 2:30. Okay, but here's the thing that's different about that. The government doesn't care that you need to meet your friend at a Starbucks at 2:30. I still don't want them to, that's my business. I don't want the government just freely peering into that whenever they want. And I'm not a criminal for not wanting them to just, I'm a private citizen who wants to have my private citizen stuff be my private citizen stuff, right? Why do you need to know what's going on there if nothing illegal's happening, right? It's, you see how that works? It's not like, I know if you have nothing to,
Nothing to hide, plenty to withhold. That's the entire point. No one needs to know everything you're doing.
Well, it's like a lot of people say, why are you hiding something if you're not doing anything wrong? If you would have nothing to hide if you're not a criminal, right? Are you a criminal?
What I just said, nothing to hide, plenty to withhold.
Yeah, it's innocent until proven guilty in this country, at least in Ameriburger, right? And that philosophy is fundamentally flawed because it assumes that you're guilty until you have to prove that you're innocent, right? That's not how that works. I'm allowed to have my communications be private. I'm allowed, even if I am just planning to go to Starbucks at 2:30. Let me give you an example. Me and my friend a couple days from now, we're planning to just go hang out. We're going to go eat some Marco's Pizza and just walk around the neighborhood and shit. Just dicking around, probably play a game on his PS4, right? Or my PS4. Fun fact, I got that PS4 for $100 at a garage sale. I think I told you that already though.
Very good. Muy bien.
Pretty damn sweet. Pretty damn sweet deal. But as I'm, planning that with my friend, we're using encrypted messaging in a way where, the government can't fucking read our messages. That doesn't mean that we're exchanging fucking child porn in there or nothing. We're actually just planning to go hang out in a few days.
Okay.
Right?
It's an extreme example, but yeah, I get your point.
That's the extreme example they always use. It's the whole, you're not allowed to have encryption because what if you're a child predator? That's not how that works.
I guess we'll use the argument against them.
That's not how it works. It's not what if I am a child predator. It's that you have to prove that I'm a. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's the exact point. Is I got to prove I'm not doing drugs. I'm not doing anything with children.
you're not
Chill the fuck
allowed.
out.
You're not allowed to have privacy until you've proven to us that whatever. Right? That's not how that fucking works.
Remember, the reason that we declared independence was because we wanted to install a government that we, instead of we having to prove why we wanted freedom, it's we got to prove why you should rule over us to ensure our freedom. That's the entire reason we fucking branched off. That's
I
the entire
later
reason we need
realized that the
privacy.
person telling me blah blah blah. Yeah, my mom was wondering, are you hiding something? Why do you need data privacy? Exactly, right? And I don't.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't blame your mom for asking that because it's an understandable question. Like, I mean, obviously, anyone using Graphene OS and doing all this like deep OPSEC stuff, using fucking buttfuck OS and the super OPSEC VPN and all that shit, people going 100% on their privacy like that. It is a little, suspicion though. It isn't guilt, right? But it is admittedly suspicious if you're just like fucking, maximizing your privacy to the max just so that you can flex your arch distro.
That's another thing, actually. I want to branch off that for a second. If you are a normal ass dude, and if you go from, using a bunch of big tech services, acting all normal, to all of a sudden using all these privacy services, you stand out more than the average Joe who just like starts using maybe a few other services to escape big tech surveillance.
This is actually
It's gray
something I
mince to him.
talked about.
Instead of like going 1 to 100, slowly increase until you're comfortable, so you don't stand out like a fucking sore thumb. You don't go from one day you're a blueberry and one day you're the only fucking cherry in the tree.
Yeah, that was something I talked about in my video about LibreWolf, where I was saying that, I think it was titled something like "Privacy Browsers Make You Less Private," and it's because oftentimes those browsers are hardening everything and no fingerprints and all this stuff and like really maximizing the security of your browser so much that you literally stand out like a fucking Christmas tree.
Stand out like a fucking Christmas tree. Yeah.
Exactly. Like compared to just like a normal Chrome user, the sea of normal users versus this one super mega OPSEC guy who's whatever the fuck. Like it's like you're standing out like so in broad fucking daylight, right?
Imagine if you are a like a guy who works at a coffee shop, and one day this guy comes in, normal clothes, happy jolly guy, pays for his triple super duper caramel latte with this card and leaves. And then the next day, the guy's in there all hunched up with a hoodie covering his face and orders a black coffee and pays with cash. You're gonna be fucking suspicious of what happened to that guy. Much in the same way that if you go from using Google Chrome and a bunch of Google shit to all of a sudden you're off the internet and you're like doing a bunch of shady shit, that makes you stand out more than just doing small steps to improve your privacy.
But then I will
That's
again repeat myself on the fact, we're saying this at the same time while also saying that suspicion isn't guilt. You shouldn't be treated like a fucking criminal just for being suspicious. It's both can be true at the same time, and that's the reality of the situation.
I know, but I mainly say that because suspicion isn't guilt, but if people are suspicious of you, they're gonna want to look into you more.
Yeah, naturally.
There's a higher chance that your rights may be trotted on. If
You see,
that happens.
wanting a bit of privacy is a very understandable thing, and you have a right to privacy. You have a right to be, to not have the government digging into every single little fucking exchange you're having or whatever, right? Yeah, exactly. You're fundamentally that's one of your rights, but at the same time, like, if you ask me, live a normal fucking life, man. Like you don't have to like completely ruin your life and like live as some super fucking antisocial whatever the fuck. I'm kind of losing my words a bit, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like you don't have to live like some super crazy fucking spy movie. You can live a normal life and have a bit of privacy too. You don't have to be one extreme or the other. In my professional opinion, just, install an ad blocker, use a VPN sometimes, for certain more sensitive communications or whatever. Like, for example, my old ISP, I didn't trust them at all. So all you're doing with the VPN is just shifting the trust from your ISP to your VPN provider. And I did trust my VPN provider more than I trust my ISP. So oftentimes I was using my VPN, but, use you can use that stuff and not be some like super crazy whatever at the same time.
Mm.
Oh, my brain is
Okay,
melting right now.
Someone in chat that said, yeah, the fingerprint is fucked on Libre, Brave, etc. The best advice is just disable JavaScript. No, the
No.
best advice is to not disable JavaScript. You are going to have a miserable experience because nothing fucking works without JavaScript.
Hey,
at this
good news.
point. That is
Half the web
terrible
doesn't
advice.
work for you anymore.
Like, if you are afraid of JavaScript vulnerabilities, what you can do, and this is still a little bit of like effort per website, but just by default, you can disable V8 optimization. And then if a website breaks without it, there's a little button on the top for Chromium browsers, and you just re-enable it per website.
Well, I hope
do
you
not need
know
to enable
that
all
disabling
JavaScript.
V8 optimizations like that will actually be a unique fingerprint to you and the other people doing that, which makes you stand out more.
It does make you stand out more, but I don't know the entirety of it, but there are some security benefits to it with V8 being turned off.
Well, it's a balance, right? And I think that's
It's a
the
balance,
part that
yeah.
a lot of people don't fully understand, that privacy and security is a balance.
It's a balance. It's not fucking one destination.
And something
that you
else
go
that
to.
other people don't understand is that privacy, the specific ratios of that balance, it depends on the person. There's no singular like ratio that works for everybody
size fits all.
universally. Yeah, there's no one size that fits all. Like maybe my security setup is too much for someone who's maybe less tech savvy or whatever, or maybe it's just right for you guys, or maybe when it comes to my setup and maybe someone wants more privacy or more security or whatever, right? It really depends. Like I'll tell you this right now, in regards of account security, I have an authenticator app on my phone. I use two-factor authentication. I change my passwords once a year, and that's about that. Like maybe changing your password once a year is too much for some people. Maybe it's not enough, right? Or whatever. Another example is that I'm using Windows. I'm one of those privacy security focused channels or whatever, and yet this guy's using Windows. What's up with that? Right? It's because I could use Linux and try to maximize my fucking privacy and security all the way and all that shit. But I also care about my computer just kind of working, right? I care about the convenience, and I find a good balance with Windows for myself.
There's no one size fits all for everything. Like, for example, I care a lot more about security, and I learn more about experts who talk about different settings you can toggle for security and stuff. I care about privacy, but I'm not that one person who's just like, I need OPSEC 24/7. That's why I brought up V8. V8, disabling V8 does, it will give you a more unique fingerprint, but there are JavaScript related vulnerabilities that it does help defend against if you have them on. Someone's car's getting broken into. Holy shit. Anyway.
Also, Dizzy, we did not talk about Signal yet.
Not yet. But here's another thing. I'm someone who cares about privacy, and I'm someone, I really like security. I have a fucking Chromebook, and I use it every day. Sue me. I use a Google device.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm immediately negative a billion OPSEC because I use one Google device.
It's almost
it's a
like
balance.
living a normal life is like not the end of the world and everything's gonna fall apart. Like I feel like some privacy people feel like it's like actually the end of the world, and they're lambs to the slaughter if they just like use a regular Android phone or just like,
oh my fucking god, no.
Oh god, if I pay with a credit card, it's all over.
Your Samsung Fold.
It's I mean, obviously I know there's extremists and then there's just regular privacy people. I have nothing against people who are just like wanting more privacy out of it, but I'm specifically targeting like the extremist privacy people here. Like there's some people who genuinely feel like if they just use a normal ass operating system, like it's actually like game over, like everything's ruined, whatever.
No, literally, there's a guy who said he would stop. There's this guy on YouTube named DistroTube who said he would stop using computers if he was forced to use only Windows. That shit was kind of insane.
That's fucking, yeah. I mean, to each his own. I mean, Windows does suck ass, but also that's kind of dumb. If you want to be purely secure, lock yourself in a bunker with a skylight to grow potatoes.
Hey, skylights are that's fucking insane, dude. Sky, you I mean, just Sky quotes channel to quote the dumb shit this guy says, bro.
Sky's got nothing but bangers. Yeah.
With the Xbox 360 profile picture too, this guy got nothing but bangers. a member of the Furious Five.
Oh
I
my
have
god,
to.
you see, that's ball. Only me and Sky
That's
know
ball.
that. That's ball. That's
cool,
ball.
man. I don't know what that is, but that's cool.
No one in the stream does, but that's some straight ball right there. But I think we've kind of beat this topic, you know, the proverbial horse to
I wouldn't
death
say
already.
BDE. We've gotten a lot of information out of this that I think is worth talking about.
I think just the ultimate summary of this whole kind of topic is just like, if you guys want more privacy and stuff like that, I think that's fantastic. But at the same time, understand that it's a balance. Like, you need convenience, you need privacy, you need security, right? And you also need to be able to live your fucking life a little, right? If someone's telling you that everything you're doing is wrong and it's the end of the world that you're using Chrome, and is telling you like, God, you must switch to LibreWolf and boot Arch, or like, you know, and do all this shit, right? It's
You
like,
need to open your laptop, put clippers on a tiny, like 2 millimeter wide chip, flash it, and hope you don't brick your computer.
yeah, and it might also destroy the computer permanently. But oops, like, come on.
That's why I said by brick. IDOT.
Me just asked, what's the deal with this rainbow guy? He's like a returning character in your streams.
I'm just a dude.
Legitimately, if you guys are curious how Daniel got like to this point of like just being in these streams, he was just chatting in the YouTube chat and started spitting some ball, not ball, but he's just started spitting some facts, and I was like, yo, I like what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down. You know what I'm saying? And then we got in a call, and that's that.
Yeah.
He's just kind of here. Talk about Signal. People seem to really want us to finally talk about Signal.
People really want to talk about this thing.
We've been blue balling them.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, my opinions on this are a lot more mixed than I thought they would be.
We have been blue balling them this whole stream, just dragging it out.
All right, so on the next
Allow
episode
me to
of Raven Podcast, we were talking about this.
Hold on, first, real quick. Do you guys want us to talk about Signal now, or should we save the best for last? And I want ones in the chat if we talk about Signal right now, and twos in the chat if we should.
If you're
a
pro Signal edger, you vote for it at the end.
Do you guys want to? Are you guys wanting to edge the topic, or are we gonna?
Signal edging? What the fuck are we talking about, man? White Boys Podcast is insane.
Please stop calling it that.
Okay, does somebody actually like someone earlier in chat?
1.5 161. Okay.
Someone in chat said that we should call this Ravencast.
We're not calling it that.
Bro, we need a name for this shit, bro. We just keep blabbering and calling the stream blabbering.
We'll come up with a name eventually. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the Signal situation now. You guys win. We're talking about it now. So this situation, I want to be clear about something. This is still like a developing situation, I guess you could say. So it's not like, some things haven't been fully confirmed or whatever, right? But what has been confirmed, and this is just important context to start things off. So the Signal CEO, or CTO, I meant, Ehren Kret, I don't know if I said that right, said that Signal needs to find a way to induce a cost for signing up without a phone number. So kind of one of the big things he's been talking about has been like, Signal should charge, we should allow people to sign up with Signal without a phone number, but we should charge money for it. And new Signal code suggests...
Initially it was charged something. Initially it was just, they should put some...
Stop interrupting
me! My bad, fuck!
New Signal code suggests that they're adding a paid feature for people who don't want to register with a phone number. This comes after their CTO, again, I don't know how to say that name, said that Signal was looking for a way to induce a cost for signing up without a phone number. And apparently there was some unreleased code in Signal's public Android repo which describes a Signal login, quote-unquote, purchase screen. And either users can make a one-time in-app payment or register with an account key they already own. Signal hasn't fully announced this yet, though, but as you can see right here in the repository, you can see this right here. You can see a comment talking about a Signal login purchase screen, blah, blah, blah. So either buys Signal login or indicates they already have, blah, blah, blah. So you can see like there's a login payment state class right here. So it does seem like Signal is working on actually adding a paid you can pay to use Signal and you don't have to use a phone number. So what is your take on this? Because you've been very conflicted on it since I put it on your radar a few hours ago.
You need to go first. I need like time to put this into words. You got to go first.
No, I want to hear you say it first. Because I have a developed take on this, but I want to hear yours. If you don't have a full
That's the thing
take,
is yours is developed, mine's
Hey.
not really fully developed.
hey man, it's it's one in every 5 men.
Okay,
There's medication for that. It's fine. But
Okay, what?
Like, okay, now.
It took me a second. All right, no, fuck you.
Anyways. Okay. So, I'm just gonna say it like how it is. I personally think this is fine, right? Fucking, there is no issue with a company saying, you know what, we offer a good service. We host this service literally for free. They have never actually charged you for this service. And if you want a way to sign up without a phone number, you pay some money. I don't see an issue with this because there's another messenger that's called Threema that instead of a phone number just makes you pay some money for it. It's like $6, I think, and then you get access to it. It's perfectly fine. I see nothing. I see no issue wrong with this.
what were you conflicted about?
So, a lot of people, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people in the community because I thought that this would be like no one's going to hate this thing. It's optional. You can pay if you want to register out your phone number. And then I saw a lot of people talking about, it's like, imagine you're a new user and it's like, you're not really tech savvy and you're given the option between you either give them your phone number or pay $10. And it's like, why am I paying you to not give you my phone number? That's kind of weird. A lot of people are going to be weirded out by that. It's like, oh, you don't give us your phone? Pay $10. And a lot of people have never really been like, a lot of people aren't comfortable with the idea of paying for a messenger. That's why Threema never took off. That's why a lot of
Because
messengers
everybody
never
wants
actually took
everything
off.
to be free.
Yeah, and that's the inherent issue is that everybody wants things to be free, which in an ideal world we would have never been into like the whole like everything's funded by ads. But
Well,
we're in that world. and people
The
are
ad
just used to
system
things
is
being-
fundamentally.
Do not fucking interrupt me, okay? Shut the fuck up. Anyway,
Hey, you can't do that to
Um,
me. Only I can do that to you. This is I own the White Boys
Anyways.
podcast. Fuck out of here.
Stop saying that if you want me to okay, you know what, anyway. My point here is I personally think it's a good idea. I just don't know if this is gonna look good because there's another thing that in Signal's done in the past. It's still in the Signal app. People don't like. They added the whole like mobile coin thing, and people didn't like that. Now I think people are just gonna see this as a way to make money off of Signal. People are like, oh, why do they need that? They're funded by governments. They're funded by this. Why do they need this money? Why couldn't they just do this? Why can't they do that? It's gonna put more drama around Signal. And then you're gonna have a bunch of people who are just gonna like maybe stop even recommending it.
I think
my God, I'm gonna fucking-
we're starting to notice a pattern that privacy-focused company does basic company thing, and because they're a privacy company, it gets blown out of proportion. And I think we're starting to notice a pattern here tonight. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'll go ahead and give my take on the Simple X situation. Not Simple X. I was reading chat.
Oh my God.
The Signal situation. I think that Signal provides a genuinely valuable service to a lot of people, and I think that they're a company that needs to make money to sustain themselves. So, they still have a free option where you provide a phone number, or you just pay a couple bucks and you don't have to give them a phone number. I see nothing wrong with that. It's because this is a fundamental issue with centralized services like Signal. It relies on a company. It relies on a central entity to survive. And if that central entity doesn't survive, then the service collapses, right? So, I mean, they have to sustain themselves to keep the service up. And if you don't want that to be the case, then use decentralized services. If you want to not have to pay for anything and you want to, not have to rely on a central authority, use decentralized services. But for what they're doing, I don't see an issue with it. And I was seeing some people freaking out about this, saying like, well, this is the end of Signal and stuff. No, the fuck it isn't. I feel like some people have an issue with companies just trying to make money. And listen, Signal could go the shitty scumbag route of embedding trackers and selling user data and putting in ads and all this shit, but they're not. They're doing a very transparent like way of doing things that still allows you to go the free route that already exists too. So they're not even like changing up things that have already been, you know, a thing. You've already been able to use Signal for free with a phone number, and that's going to still be the case even when they introduce this. That's not. It's not like they're changing things after the fact. They're just introducing a new route for people who don't want to give their phone number. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, in my opinion.
Do you remember
I
that
don't-
a lot of these? Sorry, what?
I'm done.
Oh, I thought you weren't done. A lot of the reasons that they're doing, well, a lot of people don't understand with the Signal stuff, and this is why I'm kind of like afraid of what people are going to say about it, is because they just kind of see it as Signal wants us to pay for privacy. No, they want you to pay so you don't spam. Because if it was just like a fucking email, I can make a simple login account in like 10 seconds, make 10 aliases, or just use 10-minute mail and make like 50 Signal accounts, and then I'm like fucking, there's gonna be a bot issue on Signal. They can't do that. You're not paying. You're basically not really paying to use the service. You're more paying so that you don't, you know.
Let me
to prevent
speak from
spam. That's all it
experience
is.
here. Let me speak from experience here. Infrastructure costs money, believe it or not, right?
Look at fucking side chat on Discord.
Isn't that
holy shit.
crazy? Bandwidth
at
isn't
side
free. Oh, sorry, what? Oh my
Look at
god,
side chat on
that is
Discord.
awful. That is genuinely terrible. This is disgusting.
Please show that
This is awful. This is actually terrible. That's just terrible. That's disgusting. I that is actually the worst thing. Oh dear.
I should have never said White Boys Podcast, bro.
You should have never said that. Getting back on topic though. Bandwidth isn't free. And one of the most heaviest things, there's two of the most heaviest things about running a service like Signal is storage and bandwidth. Because they have to store the messages somewhere, and that costs money. Storage costs money. It costs a ton of money, especially now with the prices hiking like crazy. And bandwidth costs a ton of money. So it's understandable that they have to start fucking making some more money, open up some more revenue streams, and I just like the fact that they're not doing that by compromising on, like, you know, screwing over their users. They're developing a way to start making some money for their company to keep the service sustainable in a way that's transparent to the user. And I think that that is a very, very understandable and acceptable thing. I mean, is there anyone in chat who disagrees with that? Because in my opinion, you should be willing to. I really think that the world would be so much better if people were willing to pay for things they find valuable. Like, and I understand that the economy is very fucked, so it's kind of hard to say that, especially in the current day and age. But what were you gonna say?
Another perfect example of software that's worth paying for. Brave made their own Brave Origin thing.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I forgot to fucking buy it again. I want to buy Brave Origin, but after these streams, my brain turns off. I'm gonna write that down because I want to buy it.
Constant reminders in your DMs like, "Hey, buy Brave Origin."
I am, after this stream for sure. I will buy Brave Origin after the stream, and I'll probably even make a video talking about that, saying like I bought Brave, like I paid for a browser, and here's why. You'll probably see some kind of video titled that from me here soon. That's a great point. It might not look good, but SimpleX Chat fixes this without the problems of P2P networks. I'm a big fan of SimpleX Chat, and that's exactly the thing. If you're a Signal user who doesn't like that a company is just trying to make some money to sustain their infrastructure, then move to SimpleX, because SimpleX is decentralized and SimpleX doesn't work in that same way. SimpleX, if you want to move to a decentralized option, what did you say?
That's not a perfect solution.
Simplex isn't perfect by far. Simplex has a lot of issues, but if you have that big of a problem, like it's that big of a deal to you that a company is just trying to make some money to sustain their service, then maybe you'll find that alternative worthwhile. But seriously, is there anyone in this chat who disagrees with what Signal's doing? Because as far as I'm concerned, I honestly quite like that. I quite like what they're doing. Even with decentralized services, someone is donating, someone is hosting the service, etc. Yeah, because it's, even in a decentralized form, people are still running the nodes, people are still running the infrastructure just in a more volunteer kind of decentralized way like that. That's kind of a big issue with Tor, and that's an issue that Alternate's trying to address. That's one of the big parts of Alternate is that, we want to make sure that it's sustainable, you know what I mean, beyond just volunteers just freely running nodes out of the kindness in their own hearts. There's already a bot issue on Signal. Imagine if Signal used emails instead. Exactly. Signal isn't compromising on privacy. They're expanding it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Signal, it's not like this new change is going to like severely impact the privacy or whatever of Signal. It really won't. It's just like I don't see anything wrong with what they're doing, honestly. Infrastructure costs money, yes. That's why Signal burns 43% of their infrastructure budget on verifying the phone numbers. Is that true? Wait, is that...
Okay, SMS codes cost a shit ton of money. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I have not.
On Android specifically, Telegram will literally ask you to pay a fee so they can send you an SMS code. SMS codes are expensive as shit.
Holy fuck, that's crazy, man. That's actually nuts. Well, that explains more of the reason why they're doing this. The economy is so fucked, storage costs so money now, server infrastructure is going up in price, electricity in general and shit, and now they're also worrying about the 43% budget just on verifying phone numbers. Like, holy shit. I had no idea it was that expensive just for SMS shit, man.
Yeah, but imagine though, right? Like millions of people sending SMS codes at once.
Yeah, that's
like constant SMS.
Yeah.
SMS.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
But fucking Microsoft and Google can eat that shit and be fine. But Signal is just a nonprofit. They have a shit ton of money. Oh my fucking
Is Signal
God,
a nonprofit? I thought they were a for-profit. I didn't know they were a nonprofit.
I'm pretty sure they're a nonprofit because I'm pretty sure
Well,
they're a
that makes
nonprofit that's funded by the government.
Well, that makes the situation even more like understandable. Like,
okay. Nonprofit doesn't immediately mean poor. Goodwill is a fucking nonprofit.
Well, yeah, I know. Nonprofit companies are still companies. The only difference is that they just have to end the year off with $0 remaining. They can't turn a profit. That's all it means. It's a company that just can't turn a profit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I see it. But I mean, I think it's still understandable regardless, like more understandable if it's a nonprofit, because that at least adds another bit of context that this isn't some greedy company trying to maximize investor profits or whatever. It's a company trying to pay for their fucking infrastructure. That just adds more like merit to that point, is what I was trying to say. Like, I don't know. I've seen some people. I can maybe pull up Twitter real quick and try to read what some people against this have been saying. But like literally, yeah, I know it's Twitter, so we're about to see some absolute dog ass.
I'm about to say, like, don't pull that shit up on stream, bro.
This guy said they basically asked why is payment required, and this guy responded, I think they want to combat spammers and scammers. I'm sure that's what it is. And it's also to pay for their infrastructure costs. Only makes sense if you can pay with Monero, otherwise goodbye privacy. Okay, that's silly. That's
also just like not how that works.
That's not how that works, man.
You have to there are ways that companies can anonymize, like that your account isn't tied to something. Like for example, Brave does it in a way where your Brave Origin token is not tied to you. a lot of email services will make it to where the information that's tied to your account, the only thing that's going to be known is that your bank is going to have a record of where you purchased it, and then
There's
maybe
gonna
somewhere
okay. There's
the
gonna
processor's
be
going to have like some
there's gonna be
information for like a
proof
few
that you
months to a
sent
year.
this company money. There's gonna be proof
Yeah, but
that
it's
you
not going
sent
to be
this
like
company money at this time for this amount, whatever.
Mhm.
But the
But it's
actual
not going to be linked to your account.
yeah, the actual API key it generates for that transaction doesn't have to be directly correlated. They can do that in a way where it's not, traceable back.
Mhm.
They can't tie it exactly right back to your,
Yeah,
purchase.
that's the idea. Oh, you know what's okay? Crazy, like schizo nonsense. But what if they like don't do Monero and the only option is like you pay with mobile coin, like their little crypto thing?
What the fuck is
Probably
mobile
won't
coin?
happen, but what if it did? If you really, you don't know that it's their own cryptocurrency they tried to make.
Oh, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you serious?
Go in the. It's built into the app.
That's Signal. Why, man?
In Signal, yeah. Go to Signal.
What-
Are you on iOS or Android?
Signal, what are we doing, man? Wait.
That's been a thing for a while. They have their own cryptocurrency. They tried to make it like their own like privacy focused crypto thing. It failed.
Signal, what are we doing here, man? What's going on, pal? Why,
Did you not hear me mention this earlier? Yeah, I mentioned this.
what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, no. Go to settings and go to payments. Unless you're Molly.
You're a
Molly,
fucking
yeah.
payment app. What could that possibly be used for? Like,
Sending currency privately was the entire idea, and it failed.
oh, so it's just reinventing the wheel?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it doesn't even use like ring signatures or anything. I actually don't know how their blockchain for this works because it's not like fucking Monero's, but it's also not like I literally have no idea how it works because it was such a flop and never looked
That's
into it.
just no matter how it's made, that's just dumb.
Yeah,
It's just stupid.
it flopped for a reason. I don't know if that's why I said this earlier. Is like when I was talking earlier about how they've had a flop before with mobile coin, and then this. Some people are considering it a quote unquote flop. That's kind of going against their reputation a little bit, even though I think what they're doing right now isn't a flop at all.
Let me interrupt you just for a sec. This guy said buy a gift card with cash. It's almost like this guy has a brain cell that's still functioning. If you're that worried about paying for Signal and you still want to pay for Signal, but you just don't, want to give them your real credit card info, you can buy like a fucking $10 gift card from CVS and pay with cash.
Do note, please, do note that if you buy like a fucking Visa prepaid card or some shit with cash, at a lot of times, like I bought one before I tried to use it, you will have to go to a physical store, use it at least once on something cheap to actually activate it.
Yeah, of
and
course.
then you can
Because it has to have you
I
set a
actually-
pin or whatever.
Yeah, I actually did not know that until
I thought that was actually like common knowledge. But yeah, that is something worth mentioning. You just buy like a $20 gift card, fucking buy a bag of chips with it, and then just go buy fucking Signal, and then you're you know what I mean?
You OPSEC.
Like it's almost like this guy is thinking with his brain here.
Oh yeah, that too. There's also a lot of like companies that you can just send them cash.
Yeah, like a Molvad lets you just mail them cash too.
Molvad does it. Proton does it. Tuta does it. Posteo does it. Mailbox does it. A lot of EU.
A lot of companies do that. Yeah. Tying payment info to the app is equally self-defeating as giving a phone number, if not worse. Yeah, but this I'm not reading chat, by the way. I'm reading a Twitter reply. They're not tying the payment info to the app. They're not doing that. Or maybe they are. I don't know. I haven't read their code. I don't know their exact implementation. But if I had to take a wild guess, it's exactly what we were talking about before, where the payment info isn't directly tied to the actual account that it creates, that transaction generates. You can do that, and where it doesn't directly correlate those things, it's very possible. Do that now. Yeah, that's
now, obviously
pretty simple.
Like Google or Apple doesn't. They don't give a shit.
Well, duh.
Like, a lot of companies do that, actually.
Or you could also just use your phone number and not worry about any of this because the phone number option still exists and is untampered with, right?
They also don't. They also don't. I'm pretty sure they store them completely encrypted, and the literal only reason they have it is just to make sure you aren't spamming and to make sure that people can find you on Signal.
If I had to
It's
take a
literally
wild
convenience
guess,
tool.
if I had to take a wild guess, Signal generates a unique ID based off that phone number. And
Pretty sure.
and then they use that ID, not your raw plain text phone number. And they just use
Yeah.
it for the sake of verifying and, because that is a pretty strong anti-bot, even though it's not perfect, it is still decently. I mean, that's a large chunk of Raven's anti-bot for our Discord server, right? We require the phone verification thing, whatever, and it beats a lot of the bots.
It's really good for like if you want to easily connect with other people on Signal and you have like a big list of contacts on your phone. By putting your phone in, it will connect you with your contacts who are on Signal, which is actually a really good convenience factor to help people switch over. Because it's like, oh, me and my group just switched over, and we're all, we all can already talk to each other. This is great. It's actually a convenience thing that helps out a lot of people switch. I know because it helped my family switch.
It's still in the app. I thought they got rid of mobile coin. This guy was saying in chat, do they still have it in the app?
I'm looking at it right now. I have an iPhone and I'm looking at it and it's still there.
That's crazy. The idea, I believe, was it was like an Apple payment alternative where you send a family member over mobile coin, over some mobile coin over Signal. Yeah, that's just a stupid idea, though. That's just
Yeah,
dumb.
but that's the thing is that here's the thing, right? You have to first of all, you have to pay to get the mobile coin, which you're basically paying to get a cryptocurrency, and then you're sending the cryptocurrency, and then your family member has to also know how to cash out their cryptocurrency. You see how that doesn't work?
Yeah, that's just kind of dumb in all fronts. That's just stupid.
Versus, hey mom, here's a $20 bill. Can you buy me something?
Have you heard of the Molvad political drama? It was really dumb for example of privacy
I don't want to
extremists.
talk about
The hated one stopped supporting Molvad because of it. That name rears its ugly head again. The Molvad political drama. What's he referring to?
I didn't want anyone to bring that up. Okay, so basically,
Well, you don't have to explain it like super in depth. Just give me an overview.
I'll explain. I'll explain exactly what happened, and I'm not going to give my opinions on it because, yeah. I think his name was Daniel something. The co-founder of Molvad, donated to a Swiss party called the Arabro Party, and a lot of people didn't like that because it was a private political donation to a party that supports remigration.
So it's basically the whole brave CEO doesn't like gay marriage all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then that really goes to show the integrity of the hated one really valuing.
And yeah, I hate went an entire video by saying like this is shit. I mean, he did make a good point where he said that it was like basically half of Molvad's money, and they could have used that to improve the service, which I do think is an actual good point because he spent a shit ton of money on that donation. It was like $50,000.
Okay, but is Molvad a private company?
I actually don't know.
Because I would bet good odds that if he spent that money like that, then he was allowed to, that he was capable of it. He would, like, normally depending on the company structure, sometimes there's a lot of red tape to the money and they can't just do that. But depending on Molvad's structure, that was the money he can spend that money that way if he wants.
See, a lot of times when I try to talk about this, I just get fucking like shilled and called like a Nazi for some reason, and they just block me. Happens every time.
I don't have a stake in any of the political shit, but I will just say that regarding the situation, one, CEOs have opinions, shocking news, crazy work. That doesn't make the service any less valuable, just like how we were talking about how Proton, the company is a big company that maybe does not so great stuff like A/B testing with the pricing and stuff, which, by the way, isn't even that bad of a thing, but even then it's like, it's kind of scummy. Understandably, I even think it's scummy, but Proton services itself are still good services, even if the company's doing scummier stuff sometimes, just like how Steam and SteamOS and all that stuff are good services, valuable software and shit, even though Valve peddles gambling to children. And then even in this case, it's like Molvad's CEO supports a political party and has an opinion, donated even a lot of money to them, whatever, right? But like, That doesn't make Proton the service any less like than it was before that. Like the service itself is still valuable. So the fact that someone like the hated one would stop supporting it, when you say he stopped supporting Mulvad, are you saying he stopped supporting the company? Because if so, that's perfectly fine.
But no, what
whatever,
he
I get
did,
that.
I actually watched the video. What he did in the video is he basically said that people should stop supporting it because they don't, they're starting to not care about, quote unquote, not care about the service at all and just give all the money to political donations. So he just started recommending a bunch of other services. I think he recommended iVPN, NIM, and I don't fucking know what else, I'm going to be honest.
Well,
So
but is he okay? Because if that's different then. Because if he was saying the service is still valuable, but the company sucks,
he
then
didn't. He
that's
said that he
just
shouldn't.
whatever, right? That's just your opinion.
Like
Okay,
the
fine.
fuck happened to your mic?
That's fucking dumb if you're gonna like completely disregard a service just because the founders have opinions or whatever. And again, I don't know shit about the whole whatever political party you donated to because I'm not involved in fucking European politics, and frankly, I don't care to know. I would honestly rather stay in the dark in that stuff because I really don't give much of a fuck. It wouldn't change my opinion on this, and my opinion on it is that okay, the Mulvad service is still a good service for privacy focused people who care about anonymity who want a VPN. He basically said Mulvad was voting against privacy and recommended other services. Okay, but this is that mentality of like the CEO is the company, which isn't true. The CEO isn't the entire company of Mulvad. Saying that Mulvad voted against privacy is untrue, and that's a generalization. You're generalizing an entire company to a single dude. It's kind of like how people say, like, Elon Musk sent a rocket into space. No, SpaceX sent a rocket into space, and Elon Musk is the CEO, right? Like, it's that same kind of thing. What happened to you?
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck happened, but randomly you started your mic on my end just like got completely fucked, and I just didn't hear what you said.
Oh, well, hopefully the stream still heard what I said.
Yeah.
But just in short, people saying like Mulvad, like again the hated one. I mean, honestly, a valid name because I don't like the guy. Mulvad, saying that Mulvad voted against privacy is very much the kind of clickbait headline that those kinds of channels peddle, and they generalize shit like that to that point. But in reality, it's the CEO made a donation, not Mulvad, the company, the entire company.
Mulvad did directly state that they were against the donation and that they didn't want it to happen.
Then it's almost like Mulvad, the company, didn't vote against privacy and shit. It's almost like it was just the CEO. Like, do you think that Brave, the company, the entire company hates gay marriage? Or do you think that it's just the CEO spouting on some bullshit? Like come on, man. That's silly. That is a silly thing to say. And like that this is exactly my problem that I have with people like the hated one. But I think we talked about did we talk about that already?
Yeah, we talked about him earlier with all of his fucking LARP.
Yeah, that's just add it onto the pile.
Yeah, I knew I didn't really like the guy, and then he just started getting worse and worse. I know there was one video he made when Proton Mail was like initially made that was like people were saying it was like a honeypot and bad, and he said it was like, no, it's just an email service that's better than Google. Shut up. And now he's like, you need this VPN, but not this one because I personally politically disagree with it. Oh, and on that, he went to the comments section and just like deleted all the comments of people who disagree with him.
Well, I have nothing to say on that because that's just hearsay. But like, no offense, obviously, but I'm it is just like we're like two teenage high schoolers, like high school girls, like just shit talking people in the school right now. You know what I mean? It's just like
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of evidence though when his comments went down from like 230 to like 40.
Okay, but also I do know that YouTube loves to censor my comment sections, at least me. Like
Oh, that is
I've had
true.
people say that I had a couple people like saying, "Oh my god, you censor your comment sections," and I go look and it's like this comment was held for review, and it's like the, it's like, man,
Yeah, fair enough.
it YouTube does do that, so I'm not gonna. That's not something really to work on. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a
But-
funny thing where a lot of people were saying they voted for privacy, but if you look into it really, the party that he donated to is completely against chat control. So like,
Yeah, but
It's
that's
almost like
getting
it's a
into
little bit
political
more
stuff, and I don't want to talk about that, and I also have
Oh,
no
yeah, fair
stake in
enough.
that. A, I don't want to talk about it, and B, I don't know enough about it, and I also don't really care. So, like, it's not relevant
I live in
to
Sweden.
my point, my
Yeah.
points at least with this, which is just that this you got to separate the CEO from the company. The CEO runs the company. That doesn't mean he is the company. Like, imagine if someone said, imagine if I voted for fucking who knows what. I voted for some guy in the upcoming US election, and then someone disagreed with that and went, "Oh my god, Raven just voted for fucking Biden," or whatever you know, whatever. And it's like,
Raven is a wokey company.
and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Like, are you kidding me?
Okavin.
I think that that's just stupid. I think that that's just dumb. The fact that a quote unquote privacy focused YouTuber or whatever have a backbone, man. If that's my advice that I would give to him, if you know, if the hated one ever for some reason here heard us yapping and wanted to come on here and talk to us, I'd be willing to. Because like I'm not gonna just say shit, you know, about the guy and then not be willing to talk to him. So, but like you
He's in the
can't
chat right now listening to
call,
us.
because a big part of the hated one at least is he talks about like, no, I'm just this independent, you know, like he tries to position himself as like this really unbiased, like realistic guy who gives like good privacy recommendations and stuff, and then he's doing stuff like that. Like, I think it's just kind of, I think it's silly.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, everyone's biased, you know what I mean? Like, you should always take everything everyone says with a grain of salt, including us, including me. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt coming from, you know, people, because they always.
Not for me though. I'm perfect.
Okay,
My
man.
name's Rainbow for a reason. I have all the perfect opinions, all the colorful perfect opinions. Hey, can you say excuse me?
Nope. You
Fuck
can
you.
go fuck yourself.
With the spiky one or the bumpy one?
The wet one.
They're both pretty dry. I haven't used them in a while.
Okay, bro. Now that's something that'll get me fucking taken off YouTube, probably.
YouTube, I'm talking about
Or
my
talking,
baseball bat.
or
for
talking about
baseball.
Minecraft. Yeah, baseball bat and Minecraft. Yep.
Okay, so there's no baseball bats in Minecraft, you fucking idiot.
Well, it's the modded baseballs, you know, the baseball bats.
The modded balls.
Yeah. Moving on. Also,
All right, moving on.
I
to
just
my
want
wedding
to I
day.
want to say this just to be clear. I have my own opinions on the hated one here and stuff, and so does he. This doesn't mean that you should go like harass the guy or harass his community or whatever the fuck. I just want to make sure you guys are competent. I don't want, you know, I'm sure you guys know that already, but just like, I gotta make sure I say it. I just want to be sure, like, because I remember whenever I talked about Freethy, and I talked about how his debloater was absolute abhorrent garbage, and was like a security fucking nightmare. People all were going, you know, one of his big things was that like apparently a bunch of people were going and harassing him and bullying him and stuff, sending him threats and all this. Just want to make sure it's clear. Don't do that. You're not some kind of fucking hero for doing that.
Raven Hero.
I didn't know his name
And
was
we'll
the
go
hated
on.
one. I thought he was just being referred to very ominously. That's crazy.
I fucking hated when we hate that guy.
He who shall not be named type shit.
Oh, his name's actually the hated one. That's actually his YouTube.
Yeah,
channel.
that's his. I want to make sure that's clear. Yeah, that's like his actual. Yeah, and I have a big issue with a lot of those privacy YouTubers. It, you know, I'm sure if people, any of you guys have been paying attention to my channel over the last like year or so, if you've been paying attention to me, you'll probably know that I'm like pretty disconnected from the rest of like the privacy, and secure, like the cybersecurity sphere of
PriveSec.
content creators. You'll probably notice that my channel is like very like disconnected. It's very and that's for a reason. I genuinely hate I hate I hate most people in cybersecurity. I hate a lot of people in the privacy community. I man, I you can't just DM me that, dude. Okay, listen. He sent me a fucking photo of Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers. He sent me a photo of Some Ordinary Gamers Mutahar. You see, that's the thing. I actually learned a lot of what I know now. Like, I really got into cybersecurity on stuff from him. Like, I learned a lot about virtual machines from him and stuff. I learned a lot about it. He really kind of played a major role in me getting into this stuff. I like Mutahar. We just disagree on a lot of things. But I still think he's I still think he's a
side chat.
What were we gonna say? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that Mutahar is a pretty competent person, but I also disagree with some of his takes. But I don't hate Mutahar at all. I think he's a good guy, but at the same time, the engineer.
It gets crazier in every thumbnail, bro. I'm crying. He goes more and more insane with every age verification law.
You see him progressively get more insane by every fucking thumbnail. Yeah, like the eyes just like get more dilated each thumbnail. But
That's a fucking engineering gif. I'm crying.
Yo, that's crazy. You can't just send the TF2 engineer. Oh, if anyone here doesn't like isn't in the know about that whole thing, then they're gonna be so confused.
Oh my god! Join the Discord if you want to see the GIF.
I don't like Muda now. I feel like he fearmongers, but he's still competent and clearly intelligent. You see, that's one of the things I disagree with Muda on, is that I feel like he does kind of get more into fearmongering sometimes. I feel like a lot of his content does get like some of what he talks about is kind of blown out of proportion. But I think he's definitely a lot better about it than some other YouTubers too, at the same time. That is the first several seconds of silence we've heard in this entire stream. What's up with you, my guy? What's going on? So what's going on, big guy?
I was finding more images of Mutahar, bro. These thumbnails.
Stop looking at fucking Mutahar thumbnails. We're supposed to be speaking about
the
shit.
way he stares into the camera is just like you can see the days where he has a fucking like different like an insane topic. You can tell by the thumbnail.
You can tell when he's like, yeah, like you can tell when he slept.
You gotta start making Mutahar thumbnails. It's like for people to watch. Like Raven just got hacked and she's staring into the camera.
Sky requested to speak. Sky, you've been around for a while. I've even hung out. The ball, right? So, if you really do wanna come on, you can. But don't fucking the rules. Don't give me fucking sent to Valhalla here. But if you want to come on. Oh god, his mic is trash. Oh no, his mic is trash.
Just like mine.
Hey, don't hate on the Blue Yeti.
Oh god, how could I tell? how did I know?
My desktop mic is also a Blue Yeti. It's okay,
dude. I could just
laptop
tell.
mic's actually better. Wait, Sky can be here for when we transition to EU tech. That'll be fun.
Oh boy. All right. Or is that what we're getting into now?
Get off at some point soon.
Alrighty. Quick question for the chat, because I want to see what we should focus on more here. YouTube chat and Discord chat. Are you guys more aware of EU software like email services or whatnot, or are you guys also familiar with hardware like like the Linux phones and shit that they like to make? Which ones are you guys more familiar with? I'm assuming it's the software.
I love that my squeaky chair gets picked up every single time I barely move an inch in it.
You just like didn't hear
Not
that.
on
by the way.
Discord though.
Not on Discord, but on stream it is.
Well, frick your stream. Everybody join the Discord and be cool.
Oh yeah, the Jalo phone. I remember seeing stuff about that.
It's a Yala, but yeah.
Man, look at this
Not-
Act. Can we get some
not
nerd
my
emojis in the
fault,
chat, please? Can we get
Shut
some
up,
can we get some
bro.
motherfucking nerd emojis in the chat, please?
Oh my god.
For
I'm
this
gonna
absolute
everyone-
nerd.
I'm
Everyone,
gonna uncompile you from my Gen 2 system if I want to listen to you. Uncompile KO.
You're gonna get
Uncompile
unmixed.
me? How do
You're
you
gonna get-
uncompile something?
you're
Don't you
gonna
mean
get-
I add a
decompile?
use flag that says minus KO, and then you just like leave. That's how people do like no system D and Gen 2. They just minus system D.
Okay.
So that's actually a thing.
Yeah, I did not know that. Are you talking about like at compile
Yeah.
time? Like as you're
Right before you compile, you go.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
add
System,
use
Okay.
flags.
System D is too bloated, bro. I just use
guys when
Bastion.
I could
System
literally talk
32
about it for an hour.
System 32 is too bloated, guys. Just remove it. You don't even need it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So
you actually
Let's-
don't.
let's get into back on topic here, people. Let's get into the.
The fuck was
EU
that?
Shut up.
I'm getting back on topic.
Are we just gonna let that like fly? Are we just gonna let that fly by? We aren't gonna address that.
Oh. How does this keep? Okay, how does this keep happening?
How does what keep happening?
You fucking just stare at our screens and just don't say shit. for,
Dude,
like,
you're the
5
one.
seconds
You're
right
taking the lead in the topic. We're waiting on you.
now. Cannot take a lead here, bro.
Okay, fine. I'll
What the
talk
fuck is
about
your
it. What are we
stream?
talking about again?
Reliance on EU technology.
Reliance on EU technology. I don't
Over
know.
reliance. How people
Uh,
trust EU technology too much.
Oh,
even though
okay.
there's,
So
like,
not
people
over
who are-
reliance, the over trust thing. Okay.
Over trust, yes.
Over reliance is the wrong term.
That's not what I meant to say. Fuck you.
So is all right. Yeah. So let me. My brain is fried right now. By the way, it's 1 a.m. So a lot of people here, like with Proton, I think Proton's a prime example we can start off with. Them constantly advertising that they're Swiss privacy, right? So therefore, that means that they must be super secure, right? Or other places will mention that they're Swiss or just European based. They won't even say Swiss. They're just like EU based. That must mean that they're like more trustworthy. And I feel like some people, not everyone, but I feel like some people really do get this impression that like, the EU is so good about privacy and security and stuff. So that must mean that like they're more reliable when it comes to privacy or security and stuff, which is just not true.
It's because it's on the Eastern Hemisphere, which is like away from America, so that like makes it better.
True. There's no Palantir
That's
over there.
that's just like how it works. Like
Yeah.
anything west of the Prime Meridian, it's just like
Until Emmy doesn't exist in Europe.
yeah, because like think about it. Think about it.
What's funny though is that EU is the same. The EU is the same place that's introducing chat control and trying to push all that shit through. So it really doesn't
Not to
work.
mention that they intentionally want to push over the second one, and they also intentionally pushed chat control 1 when like no one was there, and they made it to where they can't get it out until 2028. So
Remember when they tried to ban encryption? Period.
oh my fucking god.
You remember that?
Which time? Sorry, I'm looking through my notes and I see like 16 times. Which one are we talking about again?
The millionth time.
Oh right, sorry. I was looking on the billionth page.
Oh yeah, wasn't there one situation where like one company was asked to have like a decryption key or like a reversible algorithm?
Which company? They have all.
That is
asked to
such a
have, like,
broad
it-
question that could mean literally
I
any
feel like
company.
it was the U.S. government that asked them, so probably like.
Are you talking about
every
Apple,
project.
where they tried to like get Apple to backdoor their stuff, and then Apple refused
think
and went to
so.
court with them over it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
a very real thing that happened, but that was in the U.S.
Well, okay. Back on the topic of the over trust of EU technology, there is a mail provider called Tutanota, Tuta.com or Tutamail. It goes by a billion.
Hold on.
different aliases.
Pause. Run that by me one more time. Can you repeat that name?
Tutanota,
Tutanota?
or Tutanota.
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 Well, to be fair, it is a dumb name, but yeah, carry on.
The the Tuta organization, the company, constantly likes to. It's such a bad name, I know. They constantly try to recommend, try and succeed to recommend a lot of these European-based services, and a lot of them are just worse. Like they constantly recommend other office suites to people as these perfect, private and free alternatives. Like they recommend LibreOffice to people. If you've ever used LibreOffice, you know it sucks.
I actively
It's
use
not-
LibreOffice,
I've never
and I know
actually
it
thought it was
sucks.
that bad.
Like I go on to it and I'm like, yep, I'm not sending my data to Microsoft, but I want to fucking.
Okay,
wanna
but
drink
also
a
in their
fucking
defense,
3
Word
beers.
sucks, just in a different way.
Yeah. Again, though, it's not a perfect solution. They market all these things as perfect solutions, and then we get to the point where they're just recommending stuff simply because it's EU based. There's a lot of people who will recommend.
Do you have examples of this? Is there
Well,
something I can pull
yeah.
up for that?
If you they post it all the time on like Reddit, Mastodon, on their fucking like official accounts will post.
Well,
them
do they have
recommending,
like maybe a thing on their website for that?
They might. I might be able to go pull up a Reddit post here of them just like with a wall of just EU tech because they do it so often. I can find multiple of them. But for the people,
I don't know
in
why
chat,
I
well,
thought that would work. I searched up Tuda recommendations, and it's all just like shitty review websites.
as I'm saying here, though, right? Every single time they'll always recommend Volophone, Yolophone, all of these like EU-based Linux phones. If you know anything about running Linux on a phone, which you probably don't because none of you fucking do it, you shouldn't. It's dumb. It's just you take Linux and you put it on a phone and it just doesn't work.
It's
also a
Android,
security
but with
degradation.
everything good about Android gone.
Sir,
Just all the
have you
bad
heard of
stuff.
this?
all the sandboxing, the internal sandboxing of Android is literally ripped out. There's almost no sandboxing on Linux phones like Jolla. It just doesn't exist.
I've wanted to try Linux phones before.
Oh,
the
here
issue
you can.
is
This is from an official fucking account. Let me give this to you to post on stream.
the issue is they decide to work on only very specific weird phones.
Okay, Linux phones are genuinely like 10 times more expensive for 10 times worse hardware and a 10 times worse operating on said hardware. It's actually awful.
Okay, but to be fair, the reverse kind of happens sometimes. Like it can breathe a ton of life into like a 7-year phone. Actually,
So can Lineage OS.
Hold on, so this
Yeah,
is something that
anyway.
the user Tutanota actually sent on Reddit.
Yeah, they posted a lot, like a lot.
Do you have another example of this shit?
Guys,
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
Reddit
let
is
me
a reliable
let me
source.
just go to the user account and just fucking see what the user likes to post a lot.
I
That's just
can't
crazy.
cite Wikipedia, so I cite Reddit instead.
Okay, but
True.
it's literally from the u/Tutanota account. It is from the official account.
Unless if that's just not the official account and it's someone LARPing.
Fake news media.
It's from.
This
it's
is
from
just the
u/.
liberal agenda, the fake news
Oh
media.
my fucking
It's
god!
back
It's
at
from
it again.
u/Tutanota.
We got the
It's from
rainbow
u/Tutanota.
liberals here. This guy's username's literally rainbow. Literally a liberal. Oh my god, the fucking blue hairs are in the stream now, guys. Jesus. I'm joking, by the way.
Sir, could you please show your birth certificate?
I feel like some people
my-
are gonna
okay,
take
okay.
me seriously if I keep joking like that. I'm joking.
Okay, this one is actually like really bad, and I think this you're gonna immediately see why this one's pretty bad.
Send it to me.
I am.
Liberal
This
boy, don't talk to me.
recommendation is
Yeah, true.
genuinely, 'cause look at the browser what they're recommending. See the issue?
What browser are they recommending?
So chat.
People switch from
So-
Chrome to Tor.
So chat.
Oh,
Oh, by the way, just to make you even angrier, KO, that thing that they're showing from Instagram is a decentralized, federated Instagram social media.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what the fuck even is that?
dude.
You
Instead
notice
of
the issue here though is
Instagram-
that they're just recommending shit for the sake of it being EU based.
What?
Bro, instead
are
of
we-
Instagram, use Zhao Hong Chu.
Are
that
we
is from the
actually
official-
recommending? Are we actually recommending Tor as a replacement to Chrome? Are we being serious?
There's more. I'm gonna find more for you.
It's almost like Tor can't be on iOS, I'm pretty sure.
Just use the
Because
Onion browser.
it can access the dark web.
We cannot be serious. We cannot be
Remember,
serious.
that is from the real u/Tudanoda account.
It's like that one thing that was online, like thing and then thing in Japan. It's security, then security in EU.
That is actually such a great way to put it. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, literally.
That is actually
Oh,
such an
here's
amazing way
another-
to put that. Because it's actually,
pretty bad.
Japan definitely has that, where it's just like some cheap, like, even, it can even just be the same thing that's sold in America,
Yeah.
but then they just slap, oh, it's Japan, so then a bunch of people will buy it. It's like the
It's
same thing with the
7-Eleven.
EU.
7-Eleven, but they actually have sushi as well.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I think 7-Eleven actually has sushi, don't they? Or is that Circle K that has gas station
Also
sushi?
do, bro.
I would never trust gas stations.
Dude, you're still on the fucking regular internet? What a pussy, dude. Get on I2P, dude. Fucking best
Oh
alternative
my!
to the
Stop! Oh my fucking god! Actually, stop!
Oh, guys, why aren't you using fucking...
Genuinely, if you use I2P or whatever the
I
fucking
bumped
like
my mic.
Yggdrasil protocol is called, you're a neckbeard.
Holy shit. So instead of Google search, they recommend Ecosia, which, by the way, Ecosia, as far as I'm aware, they're fine, but their search results aren't as
Yeah.
good. Google Password
They saved the
Manager,
trees,
KeePass
though. It
XC.
saves the trees.
Here's the thing with KeePass XC, because I use KeePass XC, it's not for everybody, because it's local.
Imagine telling the average user to use it.
Yeah, no, they would have a much better time with Bitwarden. I'd recommend Bitwarden instead. But KeePass XC, like, that's definitely something that's more for power users, I'd say. I'm not even going to address the other one at the top. So they recommend from Windows to Linux naturally. They recommend Outlook to their own thing, and then WhatsApp to Signal. Are these like... Sometimes you gotta wonder if these are like AI generated. Because there's no way there's a human being behind these, right?
I got news for
Maybe
you.
the human was the first AI generated human.
I got news for you, KO. These are made by real people.
Dude, what a liberal. You use the ClearNet. Do you know my OPSEC level?
What the fuck, bro?
Oh, that's fucking good.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, that's fucking good. Oh, they actually recommend Mastodon over X. Holy shit. If you recommended... Okay, listen. Okay, listen. If you recommended Blue Sky, I would say I disagree with you, but, like, also, like, okay, fine, whatever. But Mastodon? Are we dead ass? Mastodon?
Surprised you didn't comment on the fucking PeerTube.
Just settle and use X the everything.
I
for me.
disregarded the PeerTube thing because genuinely, like, I am actually at a loss for words to how to even address that. They're recommending PeerTube over YouTube here. Like,
oh my god, I fucking found it. I found like the really, really bad one. I fucking found it. Look at the amount of like fucking
okay,
phones.
don't even tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm just gonna go through it live on stream, live reaction.
Yeah. This guy in chat knows ball. He uses X, Blue Sky, and Truth Social.
Truth Social. So instead of Google Translate, they recommend Kagi Translate or Libre Translate. Never use either. They recommend the first thing they recommend is Seer X and G. Boys. Okay, well, if it's like, okay, Raven has its own public Seer X and G instance called Raven Search.
Oh, that's what that is. That's what that is.
Look at the browser section, please.
But here's the thing: we have to. Okay, I'm getting to it. Let me take my time with shit, man. Don't rush me. But The thing with Raven Search, though, is that we're very specifically not trying to be a replacement to like Google Search. We are a niche. Raven Search is a niche thing intentionally. Raven Search is like you want a private search that's like anonymized, where the search query can't be traced back to you. But even I myself, most of the time, I use DuckDuckGo actually for my primary searching stuff.
Me too.
I don't use Raven Search for 100% of my searches. I do use Raven Search sometimes for some of my searches though, but the search results just aren't as strong, and that's the big issue with it. And then also sometimes with high activity at rate limits. So recommending that as your top alternative to Google Search is a fucking joke.
He's OPSEC Premium.
Yeah, see, they recommend KeyPass XC as the first thing. That just don't, man. Image, I actually don't disagree with that. Image as an alternative to Google Photos, I don't disagree with that. Image is actually pretty good.
I'll post it though now.
Image is just like, I mean, you can, as far as I'm aware with Image, you don't have to like do a bunch of crazy tech complex shit. You can kind of just download it and use it. I think you can like self-host a server and do all that stuff for the more complex shit. But like, I think you can just also use it as just like a basic photo viewer. The first thing they recommend is Firefox.
I like how in the Android section is just different flavors of Android for the first
Dude,
like, 3.
okay, stop jumping ahead. I'm still processing this.
I'm processing. Well, you can process.
Firefox. Fucking Firefox.
Count the amount of Chromium-based browsers in that thing, by the way.
Hold on. Where is it? Where's my video? Where is it?
Is Molvad Chromium based?
Where is my video?
Okay,
Don't use Firefox. Mozilla has a license to all your data from Firefox now. Stop using Firefox. Go watch that video. Please go watch that video.
That video, okay.
They
did update.
I use Zen. I use Zen, which is Firefox based.
Also, Firefox-based browsers just have worse compatibility and are often just worse in terms of user experience compared to just Chromium-based browsers. But
it has a sidebar.
You know that most Chromium-based browsers have sidebars now too, right?
But it has a sidebar.
Okay, whatever, man. The number 2 on their list is Molvad browser. Number 3 is Tor. Man, are we dead ass?
If you're not daily driving Tor right now, what are you even doing?
I have the hiccups. Goddamn. I don't have the hiccups anymore. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I don't even know how to begin to address that. They recommend free OTP instead of Google Authenticator. I can't speak on that. I've never used it. Instead of Google Play Store, they recommend F-Droid. I can speak from experience. F-Droid is kind of ass.
Okay. F-Droid is not an alternative to Google Play Store.
It's not. F-Droid
it's for open source apps.
F-Droid is literally for only Libre apps.
Yes, F-Droid is specifically targeting a specific thing. It's not a full replacement for Google Play Store. Google Meet, they recommend Jitsi Meet. Never really used it enough to know for sure. Google Chat, they recommend Signal. Threema. What the fuck is Threema?
Jitsi requires you to be using a Matrix instance in order to use it.
Oh, that sounds. What the fuck are we doing here, man? What? Where am I?
Wait.
Where am I? What is this?
Okay.
Who am I?
What are all these Google Chat alternatives? I've heard of one.
I've heard.
You know what Signal is? Threema is just like kind of like a Signal alternative.
The only thing I know about Session is that they cringe post on main on Twitter.
Session
it's actually
like, what if I made Tor but worse and integrated it into a terrible messenger and you get Session?
Sounds good. SimpleX Chat serves a specific niche. SimpleX Chat is actually, I really like SimpleX Chat for what it's designed for. SimpleX Chat is amazing for its purpose, but it's not a general replace. I would honestly recommend Signal over it for like just general purpose chatting. Google Keep, Notesbook, I don't have any opinions on that. What's CryptPad? I've never seen CryptPad before.
Let's DuckDuckGo it.
It's literally just like CryptPad is basically just it's just an online note doc thing. That's all it is. It's just an online notes thing.
Okay, but LibreWolf
encrypted data posted in France, guys. It's secure.
Oh, okay. Well, then if that's the case, then yeah.
Most of those notes things are kind of just like really, really basic note services.
Well,
or-
here's the thing about LibreOffice.
What the fuck is
You
a
see, one of the big
Kanban?
reasons people use Google Docs is because it has live collaboration and shit and cloud syncing and stuff. LibreOffice doesn't have that.
Oh.
It's not an alternative because LibreOffice is an offline. It's like a local word processor.
Local only.
It's an alternative to Microsoft Word, but to Google Docs. Google Docs is very focused on the whole collaborative side of things and stuff. It's not an alternative to that. It just isn't. It just isn't. I also like how their stuff is like big and bolded and the rest aren't. Or you really gotta love that part. Proton Calendar is a solid alternative to Google Calendar, in my opinion. I agree with that part. Let's see, Lineage OS, Calyx OS, EOS, Vala OS, and Graphene OS. What are we doing here, man?
Let's stick on that for a second because I actually want that is one of the biggest things I want to talk about in this list.
Were you supposed to follow that up
Someone
with
know what
words?
you're doing.
Uh,
Can I finish speaking? Damn.
You, dude, you
didn't
weren't
start
speaking.
What? Wait, what?
You weren't
Okay.
speaking. You just went
Okay,
like, okay,
so
let's stay on this for a second.
Okay, so my mic didn't pick it up. Whatever. anyway, the only options there I could really recommend to somebody would be Graphene if you know what you're doing and you know how to install it and you're a little bit more tech savvy, or Lineage if you have a really, really old phone and you need security updates and you don't want to buy a new one. Vola OS is like one of the Linux phone operating systems. It's
Okay,
fucking pointless
Jesus.
to use like 3 devices.
Jesus Christ.
EOS is Murina. I don't know how to say it. That's their little like Android version, and on their own phones they don't have verified boot. Nice. And then Calyx is just what if I made Graphene, made it a lot worse, marketed it as easier, and then sold it to people who have pixels.
Nice.
That's all it is. Though every OS there is pointless besides Graphene if you care about security and Lineage if your phone is from 2002.
And then the Google Drive, of
Or if
course, they
it's-
recommend to Drive even before it's released. They're recommending shit that hasn't even come out yet. So they're recommending to Drive primarily, even though that literally doesn't exist yet, at least as of this image. Proton Drive, and then Next. Don't ever recommend Nextcloud to me. You're not a serious person if you're recommending Nextcloud. Holy shit, Nextcloud is ass. Oh my god, Nextcloud is dog shit. I never want to touch that fucking thing again. Oh my god, it's disgusting.
Literally.
We're not
I
even one of the YouTube
I didn't know this was
alternatives.
a hot take. I didn't dislike it that much the one time.
Dude, YouTube, all the YouTube alternatives are just YouTube. They're just different
Yeah.
clients for YouTube.
It's just,
You-
I think they're more
just
going for the front ends, but I
slightly
mean, like,
API.
they're not recommending bad front ends.
If they
I
wanted to
actually-
recommend alternatives to YouTube, they should have recommended like Odyssey and stuff. But no, they recommend just other clients for YouTube, dude.
Okay, but I can honestly, I would have preferred if they just said like front ends for YouTube and it was just like other shit for YouTube.
Yeah,
Because like, dude, I've used Odyssey, that platform is dead.
I'll tell you this right now. OpenStreetMap as an alternative to Google Maps? Nope.
No,
No.
no, no.
No,
I-
OpenStreetMap gave me a 24-hour IP ban.
Dude, I
once.
use an OpenStreetMap based maps, and I can confidently say it's worse, but I still use it.
No,
Yeah,
don't.
I got myself IP banned from OpenStreetMap for 24 hours once.
did you do that?
I was coding something using React, and I forgot to.
Well, it's your
not
fault for coding in
update
React,
the
pal.
display thread.
Never in my
so-
fucking life have I heard I was banned from OpenStreetMap.
I've also been banned from Google. So
They heard
Okay, I've
that
been
he was
going
using
Google.
React, and they went, "We got to shut this shit down immediately."
no, it's because I accidentally pinged their endpoint like 5,000 times in a second.
Sounds like React. I'm gonna keep shitting on React as long as we're talking about it.
React sucks.
God, React is donkey balls. Wait,
Drop-
was this list made by
Anything web dev
Board
related
Glowy as a
sucks.
meme? No, it was made by Tuda. It was made by Tuda Noda, the alternative to Proton Mail and, allegedly Gmail and stuff.
Actually, their service isn't actually terrible. It's just their marketing for everything else is.
I would even go as far as to
Dude.
say their service is kind of ass, at least for the less tech savvy user. Like Proton does a way better job in terms of UX and stuff and usability in that regard.
I honestly don't agree.
I could
with
also
that.
pick
I
a
think it's
better
around the
name.
same. It's
Tuda's
just a fucking
Tuda's harder to use for an
Yo.
average less tech savvy user. I believe that.
Hold on. Guys, email
really-
me on
it's really-
Lake
it's a really basic UI.
Chargogmog email.
Dude, shut the fuck up,
Dot
this guy. Tuda equals board glowy confirmed. Okay, maybe they're like marketing department, but
I still think the service is fine, honestly.
let's talk about this real quick. The fact that privacy companies and communities and stuff recommend nothing but like actual ass and calling it solid alternatives is actively pushing people away from privacy.
Yeah.
Because
Truth
people
move.
will try it and people will realize it sucks and people will think that's just the cost of privacy, and then you give up and just suck up with the bad, suck it up with the bad services, like the shittier services, go back to the fucking go back to Google or whatever, right? Because they'll try that stuff and they'll go, holy fuck, this is the alternative all the experts are saying, oh my god, and they'll just suck it up because they'll say, I don't want to deal with that shit, which is what I would do too, because yeah, they do suck ass. And imagine being like a less tech savvy user, just trying to care a little more about your privacy. And now you're being told to install this operating system, having to relearn it all, having to use all these different services that are just fundamentally, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not gonna work out well, man.
But have you ever been told you have to move countries for better encryption laws? Check what I sent you in DMs, bro.
I actually almost stood up out of my chair. What?
Notice how they conveniently put Switzerland down a little bit to like shit on Proton a little bit. Please show the image on stream, bro. That image is frying me, bro. I'm crying.
Bro, most of the world just doesn't have encryption. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, the encryption laws in other places aren't real. If you go to
Bro.
Mexico, you're not encrypted, by the way.
I do like how Switzerland in particular is like,
Yeah, they put it down a little bit just to shit on Proton, just slightly.
Europe's the same
Dude.
place, by the way, that tried to push
Yeah.
track control, tried to ban encryption, and has been like the center point of global politics in terms of like pushing all this shit through. I mean, to be fair, this was 8 months ago.
So,
Oh my
okay. It looks like about like 3/4 of the world does not exist, according to encryption.
I do agree with them on their take on Australia, though,
Yeah, that
And
is
the
true.
UK. And the UK.
and the UK. Guys, are we dead ass? guys, are we dead ass? Or are we being serious here? Are we? Am I on the crack pipe?
Oh, remember when Hostinger was censoring you guys?
I do remember that.
Oh,
I think that a
yeah.
lot of European providers really like to recommend Hostinger just because they're European.
Yeah, I remember that whole Hostinger thing.
Look at this, bro. Tuta does it as well. I gotta I gotta stop shitting on Tuta. I
Holy
can't keep saying,
shit.
this is fine.
Freedom of
And then-
speech, bro. Do what
Guys, if any of you guys have seen my Hostinger video, now look at this. Tuda recommending fucking Hostinger. Are we serious? Are we actually serious?
Oh, I should have sent you the fucking like payment processor alternatives. To
So hold on.
PayPal.
Let me make sure I'm getting this straight. So what I should be doing is I should be hosting my website through Hostinger, accessing Hostinger through the Tor browser, and I should be using Tuda Mail to sign up for that email, and I should be using what VPN did they recommend again? I should be using Molvad VPN. I should be writing all
Okay,
my
that's a little
documents for my
obvious,
website and stuff. I should actually be writing the HTML in CryptDocs, just to be sure, just for that added CryptPad, just for that added privacy, right? Like,
You have to write it in LibreOffice.
yeah, I have to write it in LibreOffice, export as HTML, and then upload it through Tor to Hostinger.
Because like it
Are we
has
serious?
syntax highlighting, it's just not automatic. It's manual.
Well, it is spell check. That's close enough.
Yeah.
Tuda's just
You will.
ranking shit to shit on Proton. At this point, I would believe it.
I want to reiterate to people, I don't think Tuta's service is bad. Their marketing team is just awful. and
I
they
think
need
their
to be fired.
service is bad, and I think they're just bad. Period.
I disagree. I don't think they're a bad service.
Spoken like a real shill, huh? What do you got, an affiliate code up, pal?
I literally just sent you. Do not rage bait me right now.
I have been doing that to you repeatedly tonight, my guy.
Oh, there's a whole page on the Tuda website about how they're in Europe.
We got him, boys. Oh, damn.
Oh my god. There's a whole page
There's a whole page of what?
that's just talking about the fact that they're in Europe.
Wait, are we serious?
On their
I'm
website,
being
yeah,
so
they do
real.
that. That's
Yeah.
like an actual thing.
I need
an
to see it.
actual
Send it.
full page.
Send it. Okay. Oh, and of course the page is titled Digital Sovereignty.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I really
doesn't
feel
that-
digitally sovereign in the
Wait,
EU
do
with
they have a
fucking chat
guides?
control.
Wait, I'm actually pretty sure they have a guides page.
Digitally sovereign email, calendar, and drive. Get digital sovereign email infrastructure that puts your business in control. Made with heart in Europe. So it's made and hosted in Germany. So Tuda owns the servers that are located in ISO 27001 certified data centers in Germany, ensuring zero dependence on non-European cloud provider. That doesn't tell me anything.
What is
Oh
IS?
my
What is
fucking
that?
god. Oh my god. I just found a gem. Holy shit. Ayo.
I'm not looking
Look
at
at
it
this
yet.
page.
I'm still looking at this. Send it though. But I could say the same exact thing about like American made. I could say like made and hosted in Texas, and Raven owns the servers that are located in, and I could come up with just like some fancy sounding name of like some jurisdiction certifying data centers in, Texas, ensuring zero dependence on non-American cloud. Like it means the same fucking thing. Like just because you're European doesn't mean that like this is all of a sudden like more trustworthy. Them having business customers doesn't tell me anything. Quantum resistant encryption, thanks to dude. Okay, can I rant about quantum resistant encryption real quick? Just a little side tangent, because quantum resistant encryption is like, have you guys ever seen websites that say that they have military grade AES 256
It means
encryption?
fucking nothing, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
quantum resistant encryption, are we dead ass? You know what that means, right?
Okay.
That's actually like nothing, man. That doesn't mean
It
shit.
is something, FYI.
Oh, you're gonna sit here and try to
Um,
talk to me about how the quantum computers are coming to rape all of our fucking encryption and shit. The whole internet's
I
doomed
watched
in a
a
few
video
years.
from the official Apple YouTube channel about this. I'm an expert.
Dude, I should honestly do a whole dedicated video about this, that quantum computing shit is so overblown and is so like people react about that show like it's actually the end of the world is only like 5 years away. I'll tell you this right now, AES 256 isn't being cracked for at least another 20 years. Probably at least not for another 30 years. I'll mark my fucking
you
words.
could do an
The issue
entire
isn't
dedicated video
AES,
about
by the
all like
way.
the stuff that gets overblown. Like you could talk about the GDID, you could talk about the quantum safe encryption. You could talk about a lot of things in one video about how people are just like overblowing
Yeah.
shit.
Dude, because the whole,
AES
at least with
isn't
the
ever
quantum
getting
resistant shit, like, yes, technically it's quantum resistant, but you guys got to understand that like quantum computers are so so far away from even getting close to cracking AES 256. Like it is actually like entirely theoretical right now. Like technically it's possible, but something that people don't understand about quantum computing is that, you know, I know Microsoft came out with that big thing about like the world's first ever quantum
Majorana.
CPU or whatever. Do you guys remember that?
Majorana.
Yeah, and it had like 8 logical qubits. Meanwhile, like the amount of qubits needed to crack AES 256 is in like the fucking hundreds of thousands or millions.
So the issue, the quote unquote issue, not really a huge issue right now. The issue isn't AES, it's more RSA.
Okay, the issue is in
RSA is
RSA.
vulnerable
You're
to
right
Shor's
about that. You're right about that.
It's vulnerable to Shor's algorithm.
You're right about that, but RSA is one that's kind of riskier. But to be fair, RSA is something that people like, at least RSA is one of those things that's kind of been a legacy thing for like at least the last maybe 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any company in the last 5 to 10 years that's a serious company in terms of privacy has been using RSA. Like, I'm sure there's still legacy databases and shit that use them, but like most serious systems now don't even use RSA anymore. Like, that's already been like migrated. But I feel like a bunch of people act like the whole internet's gonna collapse because of quantum, you know, fucking computing and shit. It's such bullshit, because you know what they're doing when they say shit like quantum resistant encryption? They're saying this just for the sake of like, it's actually just spewing out buzzwords. It's the same thing as the whole military grade encryption bullshit. It's actually infuriating, because, you know, I'm speaking as someone who very thoroughly understands like encryption algorithms and stuff. Like, this is like, when I say I do cybersecurity and stuff, more specifically, my focus at least is like in digital forensics, right? That's kind of been the specific niche of cybersecurity that I'm very into, and so I understand a decent chunk of encryption and stuff. It's a fucking joke if a company's ever saying quantum resistant encryption. They're just trying to fluff their shit just to make it like sound better. And then they say GDPR compliant and GoBD compliance. So it has the highest security and compliance standards. That
Every fucking EU company says that. Fucking Proton says it too.
Dude, if I started a fucking shell company in Europe right now, if Raven was hosted in Europe right now, I could totally move Raven Bin right now, the Raven Bin servers. I could totally move it to an EU based server and start bragging about the GDPR compliance and made and hosted and fucking.
Dude, you're gonna get put in a fucking Tutanota post.
Dude, that would, if that's all it takes, man. Shit.
Crafted from scratch.
Make a shitty
Nova garage.
Make it in the EU and they'll recommend it too.
The government's gonna rape my mind with quantum resistant encryption, obviously. Yeah, exactly. We're all doomed.
You should make all of this like overblown stuff about quantum safe encryption and all of these other things we talked
Raven
about.
could totally go and brag about that bullshit, because I could say this right now about Raven Bin. Raven Bin actually uses quantum. It doesn't use quantum resistant encryption. Actually, it uses AES 256 GCM encryption for added identity data verification authentication. Right, and it uses military grade encryption. And it uses IVs to keep your data secure and tamper resistant, right, or whatever. Or I could just say, yeah, Raven Bin's just a fucking service that provides zero knowledge data sharing. Like, one is honest and the other is just like inflating this bullshit. And even then, actually, with my explanation, it was still technically accurate, but.
You could put all this like stuff being overblown into a video. Call it privacy communities are giving you terrible advice part 2.
I totally could.
You could. I think you would get a lot of views, honestly.
No, bro, there's not enough clickbait in that. It should be the end of pirate.
Also,
I can't speak.
Okay, let's be honest about something.
Security.
Let's be honest about something. What does digital sovereignty mean? This is a buzzword that they're blasting
we have
all
no
over
idea
this
what
page.
It actually means to them. It means no Microsoft, no Apple, no Google.
That digitally sovereign doesn't mean shit, because it's still a centralized service. It's not sovereign because you're still relying on a centralized authority. Being sovereign would be running your own stuff.
No, it is, because see, it has the words on the website, so it's like true.
Also,
like,
this section of the website, and then this section of the website, and then this section of the website, all are saying the same thing 3 different times. Zero knowledge encryption. Oh, here comes the... Oh, man. By the way, email, fun fact about email by fundamental design cannot be truly 100% zero knowledge. It just can't.
Yep.
Um,
Can't zero knowledge encryption just be writing something on a piece of paper and then setting it on fire?
well, zero knowledge encryption, what they're referring to here, when they say zero knowledge encryption, they're referring to the actual email contents itself, that they can't read your actual email content straight up, but they can still see the metadata. They can still see that you're sending to this person at this time, all that stuff like that. That's not truly zero knowledge in that way. You could say the same thing about Raven Bin. We can see that this IP address uploaded this file to Raven Bin at this time, right? And we can't see the actual details of the files, but we're not like fucking sitting here and treating this like we're some kind of digitally sovereign, whatever the fuck. We're at least honest and realistic about what the service is. Like Tuda's blowing this shit way out of proportion, man. Full data sovereignty. Tuda is its own ISP and does not depend. Oh, okay, so that's what they mean by digitally sovereigns. Okay, they're their own ISP, which means that they don't have to share anything, right? Like, come on, man.
Tuta, I believe. Actually, I don't believe. I know they have their own proprietary form of encryption that they use. So it's not. They don't use.
Wait,
like,
are you dead ass?
OpenTP or anything. Yeah. So
Oh my
the
God.
entire idea with it. Let me finish before you guys start talking about this. The entire idea is that you are meant to, they want people to talk to other Tuta users, which kind of goes against the idea of it being digitally sovereign. But anyway, the idea of it is that it's a type of encryption where it also encrypts the subject line and encrypts a bit more of the metadata at the trade-off of you just can't use OpenPGP and you cannot use email clients at all. You have to use the webmail.
Oh,
And
okay.
only
So it's just genuinely worse for security and privacy then. Because also, if it's a proprietary format, how digitally sovereign are you if you're relying on some
Not at
central
all.
company's proprietary and also proprietary encryption? If you ever hear proprietary encryption, turn around and run as far as you can in the opposite direction.
Well, I had to recommend
If
Telegram.
you ever hear proprietary, turn around and run.
Okay, that's
I
that's
literally-
bullshit.
When
but
Okay, that's
to
a bit
to
much.
a point.
I'll tell you this right now, when it comes to encryption, you should never try to implement your own encryption, your own custom encryption or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You should
And
never,
that's why I
never,
don't
never,
trust
ever,
Telegram.
ever, ever do that. Ever, never, never. Because I swear to God, it is actually never a good idea. You oh my God, and you're saying that Tuda is not a bad service, man?
I literally just read this. I read this on the website. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I don't recommend. I was just about to say, like, maybe I don't recommend them.
If that's
actually.
true and they use their own proprietary fucking encryption,
No, you
whatever,
can
and they're
read about
bragging
it.
about it,
It literally, they do not support OpenPGP at all.
then Tuda's just a
Dude.
shit service then. What the fuck is this?
Hey guys, OpenSSL exists for a reason.
Well, yeah, but
don't
OpenSSL doesn't protect you against the people, the servers in the middle
Okay,
of the
no,
exchanges.
hang on a second. How the fuck
No,
is
for
a
the
business
developers.
to be used to mail? Because don't they have a business thing? How the fuck does that work for a business if they can't encrypt unless everyone else is using Tuta?
Well, then the whole business just has to use it.
Well, yeah, but okay, well, businesses also communicate to other businesses, so they just like can't like.
Well, then they just have to.
They also don't support like the
Okay, but
certificates,
that's
like,
actually the same thing with Proton, though. Except Proton, you can still use PGP on top of it if you wanted.
yeah, but you can use PGP. You
Yeah.
can use, I think they're called like S-MIME certificates. I don't remember what they're exactly called. Is it SM? I don't know what it's called.
This is actually silly. This is
Yeah,
actually.
they don't support S-MIME certificates. Proton does.
What is the end-to-end? Hold on, end-to-end encryption is a requirement. Blah blah blah. Okay, so they don't mention the proprietary thing on this page. What page do they mention that?
Let me fucking go back to it. Hang on.
Is it the one that you DM'd me? The other one?
No.
Wait.
Okay, no, that one has a
Oh,
lot of fucking.
If you go to Y2, it's
look
probably
at you on that page, they show like Amazon alternatives, PayPal alternatives, and other shit.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So at the top, if you click Y2, it's encryption.
Oh dear.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's right.
Encrypted emails, calendars, and contacts. Where does it say it though?
What the fucking lost it because I had it in a fucking private tab and I just like closed it, motherfucker.
I just tried to search for proprietary on the page and nothing is coming up.
I don't see anything about proprietary. It actually says that it uses.
I don't fucking remember the page was. Holy shit.
It says that the algorithms it uses.
Oh, hold on. The algorithms. Oh, okay. In Tudo, we can easily update. The only thing where it says the algorithms is it's talking about why Tudamail can't use PGP.
Fuck did I find that? I found it and then I just didn't save the tab. I'm a fucking idiot. Holy shit.
Tuda uses standard algorithms also being used by PGP, AES, and okay, well then I take back everything I was saying about Tuda, and I apologize to Tuda for getting that wrong there. Tuda doesn't use their own proprietary encryption, and what I was saying there, that whole rant about them using their own proprietary encryption
I
was
swear
wrong.
there was somewhere I just saw that you
Tuda uses standard algorithms also being used by PGP, which is AES and X25519, with Kyber and ML Chem, which, by the way, that's the post-quantum layer that they were talking about for encrypting the entire mailbox. Furthermore, Tuda does not use an implementation of PGP. Okay, so you actually completely misunderstood this, my guy. So PGP still works over Tuda mail. It just, Tuda doesn't use PGP for the encryption themselves. Yeah, you got that very wrong, my guy.
Oh, fucking, it's fucking late. My bad.
Yeah, you got that completely wrong. So yeah, that whole rant about Tuda and proprietary encryption and stuff was wrong. So
Oops.
disregard all of that. I take all of what I said in that regard back, but I still stand by everything else I said regarding Tuda.
I think I see the part where he's kind of referencing, though. It's at the very bottom. Or not the very bottom, but like down halfway about. Post-quantum secure encryption, which it's just the protocol, not the algorithm.
Yeah, but they're not saying it's like a proprietary format or whatever. So
Yeah.
okay, that was the one that was wrong. Man, I still feel like Tuda's pretty shit though. That doesn't change my mind on it.
Yeah, honestly.
Here, let's. I can get an HR job as a working student in Hanover
For Tuda?
for Tuda.
Does Tuda have physical offices, or are they like a fully digital?
Yeah, they have physical places.
Oh, okay. Do they run their own?
Yeah, it's
they
on
probably
site.
run their own
Can you go
infra
and
too.
work
Then.
for Tuta and like stop recommending terrible shit, please?
Yeah, can you
actually
become their marketing person?
If I see Tuta go on Mastodon and Reddit and recommend the Volophone one more time, I'm gonna scream.
Okay, on the Tuda front page, like, why are they just putting the most random, like, or it wasn't a front page, it was some page, and they just put like the most random companies of all time that like, and said that they are recommended.
Oh yeah. Also, from here on,
can't
Daniel,
talk.
you should be more careful about making bold claims like that here on the.
Yeah, my bad.
On
it's
the
late. I'm gonna
cast.
fucking chill out.
Avoid
Yeah,
doing that without double checking yourself. We don't want to.
Cite your sources, bro.
A big reason why we're doing this is we don't want to fucking spread misinformation. We don't want to fucking.
Oh, there's
everybody. My bad.
Oh, there's a whole thing about de-Googled phones.
I think I've had enough of looking at Tuda. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that's. I'm not gonna
Honestly,
kind of embarrass myself. I'm kind of done.
We have been streaming. We have been going for 3 hours. I think I might call it here.
It's 1:45, and I'm supposed to wake up early
1:45, and like I have to go to bed at like fucking. Okay, let me be normal and say it in normal people terms. 7 p.m. Like,
Yeah, let me.
Like 2 in the morning to leave.
I don't remember if it was Tuda, but I remember someone or a company recommending Bing as an alternative to Google search. WaterFox uses Bing as the default engine.
I thought they used their own like weird thing.
No, they use Bing.
What? The last time I used WaterFox, they used like some like search engine that like supports fucking like cancer or some shit when I first used it.
I don't know if I'd believe that claim, especially after your
Wait,
performance
it
tonight.
supports cancer.
No, okay, no.
Like,
There
it's
was
a
like
pro-cancer
was a
web
search
browser.
There's a
engine.
pro-cancer search engine out there.
no,
Beware.
it wasn't actually cancer. It was like it supports a good cause. I don't remember what the good cause was.
Are you
Is it
talking about like? Are you talking
Ecosia
about like the
saving the
Ecosia
trees?
saving the trees thing? Yeah. Is it that one?
I think it was that. Yeah. No. That was an option, but that wasn't the default. It had a heart. I'm gonna look up a list of search engines. Hold the fuck on.
Well, while he does that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream because I'm not gonna lie, fellas. I am kind of clocking out. I'm
You've
pretty
been
tired.
watching the White Boys podcast,
Please,
sponsored by
please stop
Raven
fucking
Technologies
calling it
Group.
that, dude. Please. Also, I want to make it clear that these streams that we've been doing aren't a Raven thing. It's a me thing. I know we're like in the Raven Discord server, but these streams are just on my channel. Like it's a me thing. So
Don't sue Raven for anything I say.
Or me. Or me.
this is just me doing streams on my own personal channel. I have to make sure I separate. I make sure it's clear the separation between like my personal stuff and Raven stuff.
Everyone, invest in Raven coin. No, don't.
God,
No, let's not bring
let's
that
not
up.
fucking bring up that crypto shit, dude. I'm being so serious though, because those crypto bros, you know that we had to send a cease and desist again, or not a cease and desist, but like a
remember that.
DMCA takedown demand for 75 new fucking ones. And actually, I don't even, they didn't reply to me on that yet, so I actually probably need to escalate it now because they didn't fucking oh God, please no, please no. There is no official Raven cryptocurrency.
No,
There's
it's-
no any crypto or whatever saying that it's Raven related. It is fake and not real and a scam, and you shouldn't
Not true.
trust it. And Raven doesn't do crypto shit. No, don't.
This was the search engine. This is the one that was default whenever I installed it. One.org.
One.org?
What if they spend fucking millions of dollars a year on that fucking domain name alone? They probably
Oh my
spend like
God.
$300,000 a year just on that
Donate to
fucking.
charity. Yeah, these American Red
How
Cross, Feeding
to-
America, other yeah. That's what it was.
I wonder
It was
how
the
this company
charities.
makes money.
You know how they make money.
I don't know how they make. I scroll down to the bottom and it says, "Do not sell my info." I wonder how they make money.
Yeah, I was gonna
say,
you know how exactly how they fucking make money.
Yeah, sale of personal
How-
data is turned on by default. They even have a fucking
To-
Chrome extension.
That's the entire idea, is that you sell your data so
a
that they can
bag
donate to
of
charity.
tips from
I think that's
Target.
actually exactly how Ecosia or whatever works. I think that's the same thing. I think they do that same
Yeah.
shit.
Okay, sorry chat for the little bit of information on the Tuta. By the way, I'm tired. My bad. Sorry, Tuta.
I feel like I remember
Sure, this
something
is-
where you took donations with crypto and everyone accused you of it being a crypto scam. Yeah, that did happen. Except we didn't make the crypto coin or whatever. When you say took donations with crypto, we didn't like open up for donations with crypto or whatever. I posted the first video announcing like the BetaNet project or whatever. I went to sleep and I woke up. And then I checked my phone and our Discord server was flooded. I got like a million fucking pings and shit. I got on to see what the fuck was happening. Apparently some crypto bros latched onto the project and like started some like fucking crypto shitcoin in our name and raised like a bunch of money. It was like $56,000 or something worth of like the coin. And I was like, oh shit. Hey guys, that's really cool. We really appreciate you guys raising all this money. And I did take the money. We did accept the money and we converted it from Solana, which is what it was, which is an unstable coin that fluctuates in value a lot. And, sometimes it can, something that's worth $100 can then lower to like $60 or whatever, right? So we converted it to a stable coin called USDC, which is relatively always equivalent to $1 US. So that way it makes it like stable, that, we really lock in and kind of make that amount static, right? So that we're not like, being real speculative on the amounts or whatever. And I wanted to make it clear, like, hey, we really appreciate that, guys. That's very cool of you. But we're like, let's make something clear. We're not a crypto project, right? Like, that's really cool of you guys to do. We really appreciate you guys raising money and stuff. And we will use this money to make, for the betterment of the project. But at the same time, like, we're not a crypto project. We didn't, you know, a lot of them were saying like, yo, pump the funds back into the coin or whatever, you know, pump the coin, keep promoting it on Twitter, keep, you know, shouting it out and really go wild, hype train, oh my God, right? But Alternate's
No.
not a fucking, you know, it's called Alternate now. Alternate's not a, I'm not here to fucking build hype or make like tons of fucking money or whatever. I'm here to build software that works. You know, the whole alternate project, the whole reason of the alternate project is I'm trying to make something that's actually like, I'm trying to make some serious software. I'm trying to make an actual protocol here. I'm not trying to make some hype beast maximum ultra fucking like going to the moon, maximum money, whatever fucking project. I'm I'm not trying to do that. Trust me, if my goals with Raven was to make as much money as possible, we would not be in the digital infrastructure business. I'll tell you that. Doing what Raven does not make much money at all. We would be selling fucking SaaS services like every other shitty startup out there and taking venture capital investment. Like, but that's not what we're
We
doing.
would be Tuda.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
But that's not what we're doing.
Switch to American tech. Instead of using Linux, use Windows.
Yeah, it's
That voice you just did sounds exactly like the number 15 Burger
Yo, chill at
King.
me, bro.
let me finish with my yap real quick, guys.
No.
But I do just want to make something clear, though, that coin that you're referring to was not an official Raven coin. It was created by some guy just trying to help raise money for the project, which we do appreciate, but at the same time, we wanted to make it clear that Raven isn't a crypto project. And then because of us taking the funds and associating with that coin, a bunch of people did accuse it of all just being like, they're just here to make money. It's all just a scam or whatever. Which isn't the intention, obviously, right? Like, if it was the intention, do you really think I would have walked out on this shit long ago, man? You know what I mean? I wouldn't still be here, just sitting here, right? Like, my YouTube channel's not even monetized. My fucking, I literally, I know back then I was like kind of a faceless thing or whatever, right? Like, I didn't put my face out. I didn't have my real name out there. I have my real name associated with this stuff now. I have my face associated with this stuff now. Like, I wouldn't be doing that if I was trying to actually scam or whatever, right? I literally have an LLC filed in Texas under my name, which I know anyone can file a company, so it's not like solid proof, right? But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I wouldn't be doing all this if it was just some like fucking exit scam like that. I'm not interested. That's not what I'm here to do, man. Really, the goal with Raven is, because I'll tell you this right now, Raven's a for-profit company. I fully intend to make profit on Raven. I fully intend to make money from Raven. I've said it from the beginning. But I'm playing the long game with Raven. I'm not here to make short-term quick cash. I'm here to actually build something sustainable long-term that makes me consistent money. And even if it's less money, then it's still consistent, stable, long-term money, right? Like, that's what I'm after. That's what I'm trying to build with Raven. All this yap just to say, like, yeah, it's, I remember all that, and it was a shit show. But also, I wasn't really helping because, you know, I did a pretty shit job with running the project at the start. We're doing a lot better now, but BetaNet starting out it did have a lot of problems. And that is on me, obviously. No one to blame but myself for that. But
It might be on.
yeah, Ravens just, yeah, I'm not interested in fucking, like, I remember some guy, I've been reached out to more than once by people wanting to, like, either quote unquote invest in Raven, or people like wanting to collaborate with Raven to like do some shit or whatever. And some of them I've even chatted with them, discussed like the possibility of it, and it's like very clearly what they're after is like short term, grab a quick buck, like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, okay, let me ask you guys this while we're in the call. If you were running a company, would you rather build a company, even if it took longer? Would you rather build a company that makes you technically less money than it theoretically could, but it was like stable and consistent money, and you still get to keep a piece of your conscience? Or would you rather, in your self-respect, or would you rather sell out for like, you know, a couple $100,000 and then walk out and just, you know, have that and that's that? Like, what would you guys
Depends
rather
on the situation.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I would fucking take the money and leave.
do? Me personally, call me autistic. I would actually much rather build something that's just like, You know what I mean? I would hope
I'm a
that
bit
Raven
more-
30 years from now is just still chugging along, nothing special.
I'm a bit
making
more
me just a
selfish. If I
decent
see the
amount of
money that could literally change my life, I'm taking that shit.
If I hate doing whatever job is related to it, I'm taking the money.
Okay, but here's the thing though. You're taking the money at the cost of, like, again, in this hypothetical situation, you're talking about, like, you know, doing something like
What-
BetaNet, launching something like BetaNet, raising a bunch of money like that, and, you know, being
What
a hype
is
beast or whatever, and then
consistent
just
money?
walking out on it.
What number is consistent money?
Well, at least with the alternate funds that was raised, it was like roughly 56,000. After converted into USD, it was like 48K, I think. But if we hadn't converted it to USD first, then it would have stayed like around 56K. It would be either you could, you know, just walk out, delete your channel, exit on the project, you know, not actually go through with BetaNet and stuff, and quit this whole Raven thing. Mind you, you already started and launched and did everything with Talon and all that.
I'd probably keep.
And you were
consistent.
presented with 56K. Would you rather walk out with just the 56K, or would you rather, like, actually build something serious?
Build something.
Okay, I feel so
100%.
you said a couple $100,000, and I was like, okay, that's a lot of money.
Well,
I
because
can leave.
hypothetically, if I kept, like, hype beasting the fuck out of the crypto project or whatever, it could have gotten to like maybe 80K, 100K, something like that.
Dude,
It could have.
Yeah,
Would you
no,
walk out
I
then?
You could
honestly,
get-
I would
you
have
could
kept
get
I
more
would've-
money just doing a crypto
I
run
would've-
too, bro. It's that easy.
Like, because I'll tell you this right now, like, that. When I look at how, you know, when I look at Raven and I look at the potential and stuff, you know, my channel has fucking nearly 50K subscribers, right? And Talon got millions of views and stuff. And we have active donors that, you know, donate to us monthly and stuff. And, like, Raven's position, our Discord server has, like, nearly, I think, like 4,000, 4.5K members or whatever in it or whatever. Like, you know, when I hear numbers like that, I don't hear, like, wow, this would be really easy to fucking walk out on super quickly or whatever. I think the long-term play to actually, like, make something truly sustainable, like, you could actually make something that's, like, long-term. Like, I would much rather be making, you know, even if it was only 10 grand a month or something, or, like, you know, if only I was making like 30K off Raven a year or whatever, that's still pretty good in my opinion. Because I'm also working my other job, you know what I mean? Raven's not my main job. If it was, I would be I would be homeless right now. But most likely what'll happen even down the road is I will, if you guys are wondering what that noise was, I tried to burp and failed. It's like stuck in my throat. It's weird. Ugh. But
What about being homeless and you just got SpongeBob?
I have a job right now. I work for Stride, formerly K12, and they're a pretty big company. And I'm a CX backend engineer, and I make pretty good money. I make decent money, especially for my age. I make pretty solid money from that job. I'm even getting I'm working to get my hours increased soon and stuff. So, like, I'm making decent money, you know what I mean, with that job, and I can work on Raven as, like, a side thing. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to squeeze out every single penny out of Raven right now. Like, financially speaking, I'm not in that situation where I have to, like, desperately, you know, get every single dollar out of Raven or whatever. So might as well just keep building this stable thing, right? And then down the road, when Raven starts making profits, you know, if Raven gets to a point where it's making enough where I can, you know, quit my job and just do Raven full time, then hell yeah, why not? You know what I mean? And then just run it with Raven, have Raven, if Raven's making enough money where I can at least make a livable salary, right? I don't care about making a fuck ton of money, millions of dollars or whatever. I care about just living a fucking life. As long as I'm not, like, living paycheck to paycheck, then just fuck it, man.
Yeah, I need to get off.
You're fucking tired, man. You've been yawning and shit.
Yeah. Once it's like 1:30, I just crash.
Understandable and
Who knows?
reasonable.
Maybe I'll feature on the next White Voice podcast presented by Raven Technologies.
Sky, are you going to be there for the next time we do this?
Maybe.
Are you going to start
Depends.
being a recurring character also?
Maybe.
Hold on,
I
I'll make
got another white boy.
I'll make a
starting
Daniel.
soon,
I'll
so-
make a group chat with Daniel and you.
I have school starting soon, so
Awesome name, dude. White boy's cast.
Also, I need to re-add you as a friend, Sky. I cleared out my friends list a while back, and I think I got rid of you on accident. having Raven to show off would let you land a bigger and better day job too. You see, that's funny that you mentioned that. Guess how I got this job with Stride?
I'm gonna hop off. See ya.
Yeah, you can hop off and see
Bye.
it. But I will just mention this. Guess how I got this fucking job with Stride? The guy who hired me has been using Talon for months now. And he really likes, he's been a user of Talon for months. And he heard about, you know, like from my videos and stuff, he heard that like I was, you know, going through like being kicked out and all that stuff, whatever. So he originally offered me an internship, like a paid internship thing. And I unfortunately didn't see his messages in time. So that position was gone. But then after I finally saw it, and I was like, oh shit, hey man, is this like still a thing? He was like, no, but we can still offer you like a, you know, like a contract job. And I was like, fuck yeah. So that's what I'm doing now. Like literally Raven has resulted in me landing jobs. Like, so would you rather that, or would you rather exit with fucking like only like 80, 100 grand hypothetically or whatever, and then just, you know, only have that? Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
long term speaking, there's one very obviously better option. And now I get to say on my resume that I have this like multi-billion-dollar fucking company that I worked for or whatever in my resume. I get to say that I ran my own company in my resume. I get to say that I built all this shit in my resume. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the value is so much stronger with pursuing Raven. I am actively incentivized to run Raven legitimately versus like just exiting with that shit. I'm not interested in that. That actually is my worst option. Like, and if just fucking off and scamming everyone and just deleting my shit or whatever and not proceeding with Raven is actually the worse off option for me.
If I'm gonna appear in this thing more often, I gotta put on the fucking server tag.
Oh yeah, you don't have the server tag on. That's that's against the law
I
here.
do now.
Cool. There's so much value in social media nowadays, letting the offers come to you as a dream come true, where any application you put out just goes to the void. Exactly. Like, I know that a lot of people struggle to get a job right now and stuff. I'm pretty lucky to have had that happen to me. I'm pretty lucky to have that. But and I will say that there is definitely luck involved, of course, but it's not entirely luck. It's, I made a name for myself. I got attention from someone working at this company who, you know what I mean? Like, I made a name for myself. I showcased what I'm capable of. I built serious shit and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And like that led to, it's almost like that leads to stuff happening. It doesn't, it's not guaranteed, of course, but it's like, it greatly increases your odds. I mean, like, if I keep going with this Raven stuff and I keep working with Stride and, you know, working my way up the ladder, so to speak, imagine where I'll be in 10, 20 years or whatever, right? Like, and, I mean, in terms of, like, being kicked out at 18 years old and having to move twice and shit already, like, I greatly value stability over, like, volatile, like, quick cash or whatever. I would very much rather have a consistent paycheck.
Mm-hmm. I still think it honestly depends on the amount of money I was given. But yeah.
If you were in my specific situation at that moment, though, like, what would you have done?
I would keep going.
Yeah, because I could have theoretically, you know, gotten that number up a little bit, but like, come on. Yeah. And plus, it's also kind of like a sunk cost fallacy thing. I had already put like a lot of effort into Raven shit already. I had already launched Talon. I had already done all that. Like, I feel like a lot of people saying the whole like BetaNet's a scam or whatever. Like, I feel like a lot of people, it was mostly coming from people who didn't know some of the stuff I had already done before. Which, I mean, people who've already done stuff in the past can still do scams after. But like, I mean, at least shows I wasn't like, you know what I mean? I wasn't just some nobody coming out of nowhere or whatever. What's the Proton controversy? I use email and pass and you got me worried. You'll have to watch this VOD back again to find out because we are ending the stream. It has been 3 hours and 11 minutes. I'm fucking tired. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's 2 a.m. Sorry that you just tuned in, man, but you can, after the stream ends, you can just roll it back and watch it. Sorry, man, I really don't have to repeat that. I am so fucking tired. You have any
TLDR is
last?
very overblown. You really don't have to worry. Lol.
Yeah. It if you really want a TLDR, it's like, don't worry about it, man. You have any last little bits of things you want to say?
Green.
Well, that settles that. So thank you guys for tuning in. No, like seriously though, guys, thank you guys for, tuning in and listening to our yap and stuff. It's pretty cool that people actually will sit down and listen to our fucking idiotic ramblings for this long.
Yeah.
Hopefully you found some
here right now, dude.
Hopefully you found it informative and found a bit of entertainment out of it. We'll do another one of these streams soon. Bye.
Yeah, I'll depend on whenever I have some time for that college